clouds have muddied your gaze? Has the end of wonder only just begun? Your hands were once so strong, carving wood and making melodies. Now they press on plastic keys all day. In that gray box you sit in dusk till dawn. Don't you just wanna get away? When was the last time you looked up, brushed through galaxies and fireflies made for wide eyes? We're all made of cosmic dust, but where has the magic gone? Chasing after satellites instead of shooting stars. I want this world to be redrawn. People walk, closed hearts, passing by without a second thought. Are they stuck? How do we break them free? I just want to paint them the colors of their souls, to show them how beautiful this world can be. When was the last time you looked up, brushed through galaxies and fireflies made for wide eyes? We're all made of cosmic dust, but where has the magic gone? Chasing after satellites instead of shooting stars. I want this world to be redrawn. I want this world to be redrawn. The sea is an endless gift of blues and greens. Mountains turn pink under the setting sun. Sky set ablaze with the passion of nature. Let the rainbow of our world remind you that you were once a vibrant creator. When was the last time you looked up, brushed through galaxies and fireflies made for wide eyes? We're all made of cosmic dust, but where has the magic gone? Chasing after satellites instead of shooting stars. I want this world to be redrawn. I want this world to be redrawn. We're all made of cosmic dust. Where has the magic gone? Chasing after satellites instead of shooting stars. I want this world to be redrawn. I want this world to be redrawn.
Just had a long day at work, sitting at my desk, ready to walk home. Can't wait to boot up my phone on my boring stroll. Jump into some AR goodness, see my little buddies. Gotta catch 'em all, keeping my soul alive. Just a wage slave by day, but a master at night. I log into my favorite app, see my Pikachu waving at me. What is that beside my best buddy? The Waylord update nobody asked for, hit with the ugly stick of oh my god, what is that? Hey, hey, Pokemon Go, hack yourself. Now you can look as ugly in the game as you are in real life. Hey, you got no shape and your crotch is 2 feet long. What the hell is this pilot done? I think I'll carve my eyes out with a knife. Standing looking at this new abomination, ready to toss my phone. There they go again, making dumb decisions. I just wanna catch my gosh dang Caterpie's been playing since 2016. This might finally break my Pokemon spree. Hey, 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 Pokemon Go, heck yourself. Now you can look as ugly in the game as you are in real life. Hey, you got no shape and your crotch is 2 feet long. What the hell is this pile of dung? I think I'll carve my eyes out with a knife. Hey, hey, Pokemon Go, heck yourself. Now you can look as ugly in the game as you are in real life.
Only 9 years old, innocent eyes, watching stories unfold. Pokemon battles, adventure and pride, till the truth was twisted and my innocence died. Lost in translation, they twisted the truth. A rice ball to jelly, they shattered my youth. No more deception, I'll fight till the end. Against localizers, I'll never bend. They thought we ignored, but we saw through their lies, couldn't take it no more. Authentic voices silenced and betrayed. The changes can wash the essence away. Lost in translation, they twisted the truth. A rice bowl to jelly, they shattered my youth. No more deception, I'll fight till the end. Against localizers, I'll never bend. Thinking they reign, but they despise the anime domain. They think they have power, they think they know best, but they're disty for the art reveals they're just pests. Rise up, the words aren't the same. Stand tall, stand firm, it's us they blame. They take away the blood, the meaning, the culture. Fuck the patriarchy, cries the lonely vulture. Lost in translation, they twisted the truth. A rice bowl to jelly, they shattered my youth. No more deception, I'll fight till the end. Against localizers, I'll never bend. The battle is raging, but a hope beckons. AI is coming, translating in seconds. From 9 years old, the fire ignites. Against the lies, I stand and fight.
It's that good time opening. Look at us go. Oh no. Oh dear. Please don't be porn. Yes, everything's good. Hi guys. How are we doing today? I'm so sorry for the delay. Welcome to the HR Basement Saturday show where we file away our complaints, your complaints. Everybody's complaints are getting filed. I am, of course, your certified HR female who's fumbling on the intro because I just woke up from a nap. That's how I am. I hope, though, everybody's doing good. I probably look like I just woke up from a nap, and that's okay. So we're going to get a little settled in here. Say hello to everybody, all the lurkers, all the chatters. Thank you so much for showing up, even though we are late today. I don't really have a whole lot of crazy things to talk to you about today. I just wanted to bring up some interesting topics that I thought might be cool. New chair? Not yet. This is my old poo-poo chair. I'm up to 2 pillows and a heating pad now regularly, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully my audio's good. You gotta turn my head all the way. I completely redesigned my desk area. It is so nice to sit at. You can't tell because there's a chair here, but the backdrop is curtains and my electric fireplace, my light thing, my Mew. I have a cool shelf off to the side that you can't see, but it's there. It's fun. Yes, more HR Lady streams. I'm very excited. Audio good? Excellent. Thank you guys so much for joining me, even though we are late. I do really, really appreciate it. I hope that the intro is fun and not too loud. I like doing my AI parody songs. They're very fun. I don't know. It's cute, and I'm very passionate about Pokemon. So hopefully the crawlies are leaving you alone this time. So since cleaning, I haven't had many issues, and that's a plus. So we'll see. I am going to baptize the basement in peppermint oil and some other stuff, but so far we're actually doing really good. Oh, I do spoil you. We also have down below my latest obsession, which is my Pets 5. I've recently gone back down the nostalgia realm of old games, and I couldn't not. So I thought that it would be fun space filler to have some stream pets. So we'll say hello here. What did I name you guys? This is Armin and Kiki. Right now they're on the off monitor, my art tablet monitor. So this is Pets 5. It is an early 2000s game. It was actually made by Ubisoft before Ubisoft sold its soul and made a deal with the devil. And I sank so many hours into Pets 5 and all of the Pets series. As soon as I could actually play on the computer, I was playing those Pets games. So this is Dogs and Cats 5 put together. It's a fun little simulation game. You wait real days for them to grow up and for them to have their babies. And it's a really fun, like, genetic mashup. I found old websites that were very early 2000s, thanks to Archive and some others, and then some people just like the hosts that they made those websites through, they're still around. So that was cool. So I was able to download a bunch of Hex custom breeds. They do Hex editing to have the custom breeds, so I wanted some more choices. So yeah, so we've got some little stream pets to look at. It's so stimulating. Look, there's always something on the screen happening. TikTok rot. Yay, go us. Really, it's just mostly for me. I thought it was cute. Maybe I'll switch it out with my creatures game as well once I actually figure it out. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see. But good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I do have the chat on one monitor and down here, so if I'm moving around and if my voice pans around a lot, which it very well probably is and could, I still need to find a proper place for the microphone, to be honest. Actually, I really should just switch it over to here, but then I'm looking this way away from the camera, but I don't think it matters. We'll figure it out. We're HR basement. We're not a film basement. So that's a thing. I pulled up a conversation that I thought was really interesting and a little bit relevant to the overall discussion of how I tackle censorship and talk about creative writing and talk about character creation and things like that, and kind of make my overall commentary when it comes to fandom and how consumers interact with the product makers, the storytellers, whatever. And I found Mr. Harada's tweet just really, really... I like his back and forth that he has. He also talks with somebody a little bit down here. This guy, tech guy Chris, they actually have a good back and forth, but I think his initial approach was a little, whoa, dude, that's really unnecessary. So we'll go ahead and read, though, a little bit of it. So he says, I don't remember how many times I've written here since I started Twitter, but there is no way I hate certain characters. If I seem to like or dislike them, that is just your misunderstanding, because they are all like my children. You are just seeing something distorted by your assumptions. I am also the one who is most disturbed by the popularity pecking order that appears for characters. However, it is inevitable. More to the point, popularity and usage are two separate factors. Also, if we keep all the traditional characters, there will be no room to introduce new ones, but introducing 50 to 70 characters to a game from the start is unrealistic in every respect. It should also be understood that all needs have opposing sides. On top of that, I'll say it again, your love for characters is distorting the way you look at things, and it's so absurd that you unilaterally think negatively about my point of view because of it. And this is in response to, why do you hate Anna so much? You always make her lose to Nina, and she's treated as inferior to her. And even though she's clearly loved and popular, it's like pulling teeth to get her. There's no way she's less popular than Zafina and the Bears, yet they made it in. So he's basically saying, you know, I understand that you have your favorites. You know, everybody has their own favorites, but I love them all for different reasons, and there's different storytelling reasons and things like that. So I think it was just a really interesting, just an interesting read to get his back and forth here. He says, you misunderstand. I understand your perspective, but I feel like Anna in particular is treated inferior, and then kind of goes on to reiterate their point. He says, you said I understand your perspective, but you don't understand my perspective at all. You can feel as you wish, but to dismiss me based on your subjectivity while claiming to understand the basic premise of my argument is ridiculous. There's no argument at all. So I think he handles it really well. I'm not dismissing you. I'm simply stating that I feel like you give more love. See, and there it is. I feel like you give more love to other characters. So it is you who is assuming that, not me. You are telling me how you feel based on your own assumptions. You don't understand my point of view at all. However, if it makes you feel better, that's fine with me. And then just other people who obviously, you know, want to back that up. So this is kind of what I imagine most conversations are really like on Twitter. If I'm being perfectly honest, somebody clearly articulates themselves and then somebody else says, no, I feel like you're wrong. I think we all do it. I'm absolutely certain that we've all done it at one point or another in our lives. And so it takes a moment to kind of step back. But I really, really do like this part here. Your love for the characters is distorting the way that you look at things. I think that's something that we can all absolutely relate to. You know, I feel that way about Pokemon a lot. You know, obviously Charizard is the Shillmon, and while it is objectively the Shillmon, you know, my feelings are very strong about other Pokemon, and it would be super cool to see them, but at the end of the day, I think that the Pokemon Company does its best to juggle all the characters in the same manner that the Tekken crew have to juggle all of their characters. Tekken Stream 1, maybe one day. You're my favorite body type 2 streamer. Yo, that needs to be a shirt. Certified HR female type 2 body type. I think that would be fun. I think we should honestly, this is completely off topic now that we're on that one. We should, honest to God, go around calling everybody type A. We should just do it. Just say, you know what? Just now I sent Kirsha a super chat suggesting she said you two should play. Yes, we should. I would love to play Pow World with her. Oh my God. I need friends to play Pow World with. Yes, please. Anyway, so yes. So I think that we should honestly just call everybody type A body type. Obviously there's ambiguity there and we have no idea who is who, since after all, we are trying to get rid of labels and everything. So if we went around and never referred to anybody by anything, like, hey, my type A, how are you? Oh, type A, how are you? Oh, type A, did you enjoy Star Wars last night? Like, just do that kind of goofy stuff and see how long it lasts. If this is the world that they want to push, let's go for it. Let's support it. Let's do it. Certified HR body type 2 bigot. Hell yeah. Mr. Porkchop has a very active Power World server if you're looking for a place to play. Interesting. I don't know if I want a big massive server with a lot of people. I wouldn't mind something smaller where it's just a bunch of friends who can get together once a week and kind of just start it up and figure it out. You sometimes do that by calling everyone person. I did do that for a little while. It did get to the point where I did speak in completely neutral terminology. And I think that it kind of messed with my brain a little bit. That was a really weird experience for a little while. I don't remember why I did it. I think I was just challenging myself to speak differently. This had nothing to do, by the way, with any. This is before gender ideology and labels made it into mainstream. This is 2009, 2010. I just started college, and I enjoyed doing various. I liked studying different manners of speaking, you know. So I was a very weird person. I was very weird. They're clearly against labels, which is why they're constantly creating more labels. Don't you love it? Don't you love it? Honestly, I first got introduced to that concept again in around like 2009. It was towards the end of high school. I was introduced to the concept of like ace and I always call it aromatic, but I know it's like aromantic. Because I had a friend who called me asexual because I wasn't interested in relationships, but I also at the time didn't care. So I was like a bisexual, aromantic individual to them. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Maybe I just don't want to date anyone right now. Holy shit. It's very strange. We're very weird. Okay, guys, okay. Let's pretend I'm a little normal. We can pretend. Yeah. The idea they want you to use their linguistics to influence your thoughts. Yes, it's very interesting. I'm here to watch the spiders crawl on the wall. I should have a spider cam somewhere. All right. If I can ever get enough gumption to not kill a spider, we'll try to study it. We'll try. But anyway, so the guy that he responded, we got really off topic there for a second. That's really professional of me. I'm so good. Where's the other? I don't even know if it's... these two have a thing. So he quote tweets this guy because he doesn't like the way he says. Can I just view quotes? Here we go. I thought that this was a very snappy response. So he says, disturbed with all due respect, Harda. I think it makes sense from a business standpoint to stop introducing new characters on each release. Avoid this conundrum. This is why I'm so glad that I readjusted everything. I'm getting FaceTimed, and I would have been doxxed hardcore because of the way that I have my stupid thing set up. Anyway, so disturbed with all due respect, Harada. I think it makes sense from a business standpoint to stop introducing new characters on each release. Avoid this conundrum you bring upon yourself. What's wrong with just improving character storylines on each release and introducing new moves? What's wrong? What? Do you need me to explain that to you from every perspective now? Then from here on out, I'm going to charge you tuition for lectures on what video games are, what game development is, and what the game market is, and what game business is, and so on. Also, before we talk about your business perspective, please tell me your business track record. I thought that this was just really funny. Now, they do actually have a better back and forth later, which he didn't have to do that for that guy, but they came to an understanding somewhere. So it's not all bad. I'm not trying to put tech guy Chris here on blast or anything like that. I just thought that their back and forth and the way that he actually responded was, again, just really interesting and snappy and a little bit funny. But he does have a point, like Tekken. Everybody knows Tekken. Who's this guy? But it's funny. Yeah, exactly. It's funny when people try to tell him how to do things. Exactly. So I just thought that it was a really funny back and forth. When I develop a discussion about how to make a game, most people usually cite a completely different genre of game as an example for some reason, so there's no discussion in the first place. Oh boy, isn't that the truth for a lot of discussions these days? Anything to derail the conversation, anything to just be a distraction. That's why I always type fucking novels, so that way I can get my entire point across. It's not for everyone, but it's there. He can be very based and brutal. Yeah, exactly. This is just blunt honesty. I think it comes down to, the type of business individual that he is while also still being a creative. So he obviously speaks from a place with a lot of experience, far more than any of us have. It's just, I don't know. I thought it was really cute, and I really appreciate it when people do take the time to respond to the plebs. Because, this guy's just a pleb. He's just a pleb like me, He's not I comment and post about Sony stuff. He's not saying that he's like, I'm a game dev, he's not on the relevant level of Harda. So it's just, it's nice to see the interactions. The world of Twitter can be very fascinating in that regard. Oh my God. My father keeps calling me. Anyway, but let's get on to the main topic of discussion today. Shizu has put out a tweet bringing this first the headline into attention. And then the article. So Shizu says, so Nintendo is going to censor fan art because a bunch of mentally ill Twitter users bitched about it. Nintendo pledges action over inappropriate use of its characters, so players not made to feel uncomfortable. Now, in a little bit, we're going to read, in a moment, we're going to read the article. The article states who's actually bringing the complaint to light, but this is not the first time this has actually been brought up. Now, I went ahead and made a little bit of commentary on it and kind of used some colorful language because it's who I am, I guess, these days. I am slowly losing my patience on certain things. But when it comes to censorship, I have no desire to understand those who wish for censorship. Generally, the type of people who complain about this type of thing are Tumblrina Americans and Canadians who unfortunately cannot distinguish fiction from reality, and they don't understand that you can actually very easily not see the content that you don't want to see. So we're gonna look into this. This is by Eurogamer. Let's see here. How is it on screen? Okay, it shows everything. Very good. I don't have to readjust it. So I'm using the archive link that was provided by Shizu. So the actual article reads news by Tom Phillips, editor-in-chief. So he says, Nintendo has responded to concerns over the inappropriate use of its characters online and says it would take appropriate action against anything that would make some players feel uncomfortable. We'll come back to it. Nintendo president Furukawa was recently questioned by a shareholder who said they had come across cases on social media where Nintendo IP and games are used inappropriately. This inappropriate use of Nintendo's characters poses a risk of damaging the company's brand. The question continued, so what was Nintendo planning to do about it? In response, he said Nintendo's management policy was to bring smiles through entertainment, but presumably not the kind of smiles generated by inappropriate use. I will refrain from commenting on individual cases, but we believe that appropriate action must be taken against any behavior that undermines this policy, he continued, without specifying what the action might entail. Our goal is to create an environment where everyone can enjoy playing games. We will continue to make every effort to ensure that our consumers are not made to feel uncomfortable, not only in our games, but also anywhere they might come into contact with our IP. Of course, fans have been using Nintendo characters for inappropriate reasons for a very, very long time. The most high-profile examples of this in recent memory was a certain Bowsette, a spicy fan mashup of Peach and Bowser that Nintendo initially refused to comment on when it went viral and trended on social media worldwide, and then later was ruled as non-canon. Few creators addressed the use of the character by fans for far less than appropriate reasons. Why? Well, I'm reminded of when Ken Levine once asked Reddit to stop drawing naughty pictures of Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite. Simply put, it doesn't work. People will always be horny, especially Nintendo fans, but perhaps it's worth remembering Nintendo is watching. So, this is... I need a moment because my father says answer phone. I'm streaming, homie. So this was brought on, obviously, by... now, I don't know why there's a whole article about this. Like, I don't know. I'm not complaining that this individual wrote it. I don't understand how the shareholder question... I guess it was a public thing, and they had brought it up publicly or something. Maybe there's a recording of it somewhere. I don't think that this seems to be related. No, this seems unrelated. I was going to say, is that related? But it's definitely not. Anyway... So I don't know why this was kind of brought up or publicly mentioned. And of course, Nintendo felt obligated to answer. But it's not the first time that Nintendo's ever gone after, YouTubers or content creators in general, fan artists on Etsy. If you get to a certain size, you're generally going to get a cease and desist letter. So it is, not the first time and not unheard of for them to go after individuals making art. Now, again, Nintendo, of course, is obligated to respond with the appropriate answer that makes the most sense to appease the shareholder. They know that they cannot stop people from drawing certain things, and by this coming out, it only encourages people to draw those things. Just like at the end of the article. Myself included, I'm feeling a little spicy and spiteful, so I might have to draw some naughty Rosalina. Who knows? But shareholders usually have no idea what they're talking about, because the more fan art that you generate of something, regardless of what it is, the larger the fan base you have. When an artist decides to dedicate anywhere from 30 minutes to 30 hours or more to fan art, you know you have dedicated customers, and those customers want to keep coming back for more. I can't tell you how many times I actually got into something and purchased something based off of the art that I saw. That can be very normal. It is an ecosystem. Product exists. Artists make art of said product. They get a little kickback. They get more popularity. It goes to the initial thing. The initial thing becomes worldwide loved, and then they keep growing and growing, and they keep releasing content and more content because the fans want more, and then the artists want to keep doing the thing that makes everybody happy, right? So it's a beautiful ecosystem. There is some give and take because they have to let people make money off of their IP a little bit. And obviously fan art is, you know, technically not okay, but most companies don't typically go after fan artists so long as you're not, you know, mass producing and trying to claim that you're officially licensed, right? So unnamed shareholder here just wants his dollar value to go up. He doesn't understand the importance of the art world. He probably has never even touched a Nintendo game. There's a really good chance this is just some old crusty fuck with deep pockets who recently invested probably as early as 2019, because that was a good year for investors to get involved. God forbid we have anything nice in this world that didn't need additional external funding. But now a board is trying to tell Nintendo what to do with their fans. Overwatch was an overwhelming success because of the porn. All right? I wouldn't have necessarily played Overwatch if it weren't for seeing the jiggle physics that some people gave Pharah. That was tasty. Now, I know that's cringeworthy behavior, but let me tell something to you. I became a top-tier Pharah player. I had to defend my queen. But the art made me passionate. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. The art community for Overwatch was really, really cool in the beginning. Porn and all. So even if the people only want to loot your IP, that's interest generated in your franchise. Exactly. It's people who want to get into it. This attitude is way more common in normies than many think. I've seen too many complaints about sexy, cute female characters in their favorite franchise because they don't want gooners in their fan base. So that's not necessarily a normie complaint. That is a terminally online complaint. I've never met a normal person who makes that complaint. Generally, the type who do that are, they have some sort of chemical imbalance in their brain, and they tend not to view things as just what they are. They go a step further, and they apply some weird, incoherent logic on those things. The armor jiggles? Yes, the armor jiggles. And here I thought the Alana Pierce would dominate the first part of the show. No. I choose topics that are kind of more relevant for the live show that, like, I genuinely am super stoked to talk about. Like, I enjoy talking about censorship because I think it's an important discussion. You know, like that's more of a discussion to me because that's got real consequences. You know, this to me, censorship, companies going after fan artists, that's very real. Alana making a dumb with her words to go viral and just using Microsoft daddy language. I don't care about that. That's noise. This, however, this is important to me. This is very important. When is Mercante going to write an article about how video game characters don't give consent? I thought that was already done. I thought that was already implied somewhere. I don't remember. I just remember for like a week or two that the Twitter discourse, somebody said it. It was a different article. I don't actually know. I don't think it was Kotaku. somebody said that the reason why the Stellar Blade Horny was bad was because she wasn't aware of how sexy she was, and so therefore the character didn't consent. And that argument only lasted for about a week or two, and then it dribbled off because they realized how stupid that was. Even they could not acknowledge they knew it was stupid to say. It was just really weird. This is why companies need to make ugly characters so no one wants to make fan art of their IP. Look, I see no fan art of the new Star Wars thing. The Acolyte, I don't see shit for it. It's all still Kylo Ren. And you might just say, well, Savvy, that's because you looked it up before and that was your preferred thing to look at the time, so your search is tailored to it. No, I went and looked on a different browser onto Pixiv. I just typed in Star Wars. And people are just drawing Kylo. Nobody wants to draw the new shit. I don't know what to say. It's not that popular. So you can objectively judge the success of a show or a franchise on a couple of things. Sales, like merch sales, fan art, and then obviously general viewership. But sometimes it does take a while for certain things to gain popularity. Sometimes dead franchises come back. Who knows? Who knows? Those complaints aren't usually real. They're just a form of virtue signaling, simply trying to gain social credit, good boy points. Yeah, that's pretty much. But yeah, so this whole thing with the censorship on Nintendo pledging action over inappropriate use of characters, so players are not made to feel uncomfortable. This is bogus. Again, the only players uncomfortable by it are usually people who can't separate reality and fiction. Otherwise, nobody's going and looking this stuff up if they don't want to. So the shareholder is a poo-poo. I'm going to attempt to do some digging. It probably won't take much digging, but if I figure out who the shareholder is, I'll do a bit of a deep dive into their holdings, their kind of everything, just like I did with Blackstone. Did I want to talk about Blackstone some more today? We could. I mean, if you guys really wanted to hear me ramble on about the tweet I already put out with Blackstone, I can do that, but the tweet's there, the information's there. The only people complaining are the ones that don't play video games. That too. That absolutely too. I don't know. It's just, we live in a very strange time. And I said it today in a tweet too. All of the discourse on Twitter, even the things I say, the things Kotaku says, the things that IGN says, the thing that the top individuals on Twitter say with many, many followers, and then the small accounts, all of it's just noise. At the end of the day, truly what I want, and I keep saying this because it's truly, truly important to me, every single person deserves the right to have creative freedom. You may not agree with the creative expression, you may not like the characters created, but so long as everything is coming from a genuine place, you deserve to create your stories. And what a lot of people conflate is that creative freedom should also translate into success. And that's not the case at all. Those two things are completely different. Everybody has a right to express themselves through creativity, but you don't have a right or a guarantee to people showing up and spending their money on you. The Zao thing, that game, they had they had the announcement that they were laying off some people, right? And so people are like, you made the comment about new studios should pop up. How come, why are people celebrating the studio being closed? Well, he got to tell his story that so long as he's happy with it, and he told the story that he wanted to without any input from anybody else, that he told the story that he wanted to and he's happy with it, then that's beautiful. That's wonderful. I'm really glad that happened. I really am. I think that everybody deserves a chance to be able to tell their story. However, what they're confusing with that kind of commentary is that, well, the studio's closing. Well, yeah, because the game, objectively, did not draw in enough eyes. Even with all of the conversation around it, let's go ahead and work under the assumption that all press is good press. Because of the SBI debacle and the involvement of the founder with SBI and then that weird French business that was like SBI, I guess, that they were talked about more than they probably would have been talked about prior. And so that should have, especially for people defending against the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, that should have encouraged those people to want to go buy the game, make it a success, and keep the studio in business. But that didn't happen. So the game clearly was flawed from the start in terms of how it would perform in the free market. But how something performs in the free market does not impact the ability to still tell the story. So he wanted to tell a story and he was able to do so. That is important to me. What happens after the fact and the financial success is completely irrelevant. When I release my books, I don't expect people to show up. I don't expect anything. I am doing it for myself. Now, I understand, obviously, businesses are businesses that need to make money, right? A business is a business, and the business wants to make money, and the shareholders want money. That is a little bit different. Because now they're no longer just telling stories, but they're also playing the market, right? So there's a bigger discussion there, and that is different. But the free market still decides financial success, but so long as the people involved in the creative process, they get to tell their stories like indie studios. You're more likely to tell the story that you want to, whereas if you work for a company, well, you're probably having to get the approval of other people. But at that point, you're not making an IP for yourself. You're making it for the company. You're working on something that you don't own. Incidentally, if you sell something that you do own, then you've given up your creative rights in the name of money. Assuming that you don't pull a J.K. Rowling, which honestly, and this is again another side tangent, that woman is an inspiration for one reason to me. Holding on to the creative rights with a vice grip. That to me means so much more than anything else. I'm not like a big Harry Potter fan. I honestly didn't read the books, and I saw one of the movies and I didn't understand what was going on because I thought it just wasn't for me, right? But her ability to hold on to her IP while still selling it technically, that's incredible, right? That's what everybody should be doing. But of course they don't, and it's not realistic because people will always sell their IP for whatever, based off of what they need and what they think that, it's worth. George R.R. Martin, he has a lot of regrets with the way that he did things. So, it's... That again is completely different when you bring the money into it. But for me, the original point is everybody deserves creative freedom with no risk of censorship. Feminists should have come out of Furiosa, but they didn't watch the movie. And I heard it was actually a good movie, which is odd that they didn't market it in a way that kind of promoted just the overall story. Like, I can't tell you anything about the previews. I didn't even realize Chris Hemsworth was in it because they actually did really, really well in the makeup and the characters. Like, they didn't necessarily look like the actors, So I think they really needed to push more of the story in the previews because I think, like, the only things that I really remembered was some boom booms, some close-ups, some cool dramatic shots. Like, it didn't stand out to me. It just felt like another trailer. Oh, man, sorry. I'm trying to keep from coughing, so as usual, I'm drinking excessively. I want the people censoring games and removing fan service to be gone from history. I wish these people would just go away. Oh, the people who censor things and who change things and remove context are terrible. I won't go into a localization rant, though. Yeah, I heard it was great, but marketing for it failed. Yeah, and a lot of marketing has failed lately. There are some really incredible movies that are not spending any money on marketing, but they also aren't capitalizing on the free exposure through social media as well as they could. And I think that moving forward, social media marketing is going to be a lot more powerful than just spending money on advertisement. Like, I still see tons of Disney adverts all over YouTube, right? I don't think that's the future of marketing. We've been kind of in the future for a while in terms of social media marketing and having viral posts to advertise for you that don't cost anything to set up. So, that's only going to grow and be the norm the more normies move online. Now, if we have a bit of a renaissance and people move offline because of the dead internet theory and most of it being bots and fake and things like that, then, then we'll probably see that shift back to, billboards and commercials and things like that. But it's hard to predict at the end of the day. Also, it's funny that our journos are often literal sex workers, yet somehow they are more offended than church moms. It's really weird. It is really weird, but I don't actually think that they are... I need to tread carefully here. I'm working under the assumption that they are just playing characters. The goal is to generate traffic. The goal for anybody relying on AdSense as their form of pay, whether it's through Kotaku, because Kotaku still needs views at the end of the day to make money to pay their workers, right? The money doesn't just come up out of nowhere. So when you rely on views, when you rely on AdSense, when you rely on advertisers, the only goal is to get as many eyes as possible. It doesn't matter if the eyes are angry or if they're happy. All anyone knows when it comes to the internet, because of the way things work, it doesn't matter on quality, is just get the eyes on the thing. That's it. So I don't genuinely believe that, like with the Stellar Blade conversation, I genuinely don't believe any of them cared. I think probably most of them were gooning just like the rest of us. But because things have become politicized excessively for no reason, this is just where we're at. It's also possible that they're genuinely like that. I guess I want to believe that they're not. And so it's naive of me to state and give that benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, it still doesn't change, like, the way that I register their actions, right? So, like, Kotaku, I'm having a back and forth with somebody who actually provided some really good insights. So the way that Kotaku itself runs, and I think that this is a problem for a lot of us, myself included, is the people who are speaking, where I try to only look at Kotaku as Kotaku, right? So if somebody doesn't work at Kotaku, I don't care, right? So when they put out some of the discourse, what are the headlines and the things that go viral? It's usually the more controversial stuff, right? It's where the Stellar Blade censorship discussion is getting weird. It's a circus, whatever. Like, you're more likely to see that headline than you are the one written by the dude who's actually, like, speaking positively about it. And so I thought that was interesting, just because it provided more of a disconnect, because obviously, again, business wants to make money and they need to balance rage bait versus actual content. So I forgot where I was really going with this. So we're kind of conflating the words that are being used. So here's kind of where I'm going with it. Jesus Christ, I'm really losing myself. I'm sorry. This is what happens when I'm out in the sun. I really should have just canceled the live stream today. So for example, I don't really enjoy talking about Alyssa outside of just, facts, like Alyssa wrote the Kotaku article that led to the SBI investigation shit for me. But so Alyssa obviously presents her way herself in a certain manner, that, she was mocking people and calling everybody goons and, making everybody think that she obviously, like, hates Stellar Blade and things like that, right? Well, if you go look at Kotaku, they are putting out positive words on it. So obviously, she's allowed to have her opinion, but then what people are doing is they're going to go to Kotaku and they're going to try to see, was this Stellar Blade article written by Alyssa? What's it got to say? And so in that regard, she's just doing marketing there, right? So it's effective, obviously, because otherwise I don't think she'd be doing it. Now that's people are going to think like, are you defending her behavior? Are you calling her intelligent? She's playing the internet. This is what everybody's doing essentially with all that discourse, right? It's just playing the internet, speaking on it, and just throwing noise out into the online space. Obviously, we can disagree with the things that she says, whether or not she believes them. That's obviously on her. I'm not so sure. I have no idea. I can't tell anymore. And I don't dwell on it too long, but I try to look at the bigger picture and try to see, based off of the types of things that I've seen since 2009 and the way that people act online versus who they are as a person. I think, you know, like I've seen people essentially destroy themselves to play a character. Now, I'm not saying like Alyssa's destroying herself or anything. This is a little bit of an extreme set of words. But like I've watched people who were usually, you know, nice, good, wholesome people play somebody through streaming where they're not that person. And so they put on this facade. They put on a character to try to entertain people. But because you're doing it for 8, 9, 12 hours a day, you start to lose yourself in that. And so it really messes with you mentally, which is why you see a lot of YouTubers who play a character or who are not their genuine, authentic self kind of spiral at some point, or they need to walk away. When a streamer says, you know, oh, I need to go on a long mental health break, one, they're probably sitting too long, but two, it usually means that they're playing a character and they're kind of having that weird self-aware moment that if I don't play this character, then people don't like me. And that can really, really ruin a person's mental health. So, this is all just to come back to the point that, you know, I've seen people do that, lose themselves to that. I'm not sure if Alyssa's playing a character or not. I do know that what she's doing will generate more views to Kotaku at the end of the day. Like Etika, unfortunately, yeah. The problem is the neo-Puritanism is making everything the same. There are no niche products anymore. Everything has to be for everyone, and in the end, we will have the current situation. And that is a big problem. Not everything will ever be for everyone, and that needs to be okay. You know, you don't want the cozy games suddenly pulling out shotguns and shooting each other in the same manner that people don't want their Call of Duty to be anything but shotguns shooting people. If you want to see someone who, okay, who is Jim Sterling? Why is that a name that I know previously? Like, who were they prior to that weird image of them with the frosting on their whatever's going on there? Just had a streamer walk away from gaming entirely and start a journey in a new direction. Yeah, exactly. And that's becoming, you know, all too common now. Especially, and what's weird is it's happening in faster cycles. So, you know, you'll see somebody start up a stream, they'll gain instant viral popularity, they'll change, you'll see the fatigue, and then they'll go on a break. Jim Sterling is now called Samantha or something like that. Old school British YouTuber, famous for the Jimquisition. Jim Sterling was a game critic. But, so I'm probably confusing him with someone else. I feel like I know the name, though. Jim Sterling was a reviewer that worked for Destructoid. He was actually a pretty decent reviewer, but super leftist. He was decent but melodramatic YouTuber who made some good points about bad video game development policies. Interesting. Okay. So that's where I kind of know the name from. Yeah, I don't know about any of that. Like, I don't care, man. Just as long as nobody's calling for censorship. Like, at the end of the day, again, all these discussions are noise to me. I'm noise. Kotaku is noise. But what it comes down to is just, are we all fighting against censorship? That's all that matters to me. The internet needs, you know, it needs to remain free. Nobody should be imposing any form of censorship. I hate government censorship. I hate individuals who claim my religion censorship. I hate people saying my horny is the only horny censorship. I hate people who change things and delete context for whatever reason. All of that shit's bad. All of that shit in regards to censorship is just bad. Everybody deserves to have creative freedom, and nobody has the moral authority to decide what is and isn't okay. So... yeah, he was on the same page as Total Biscuit in terms of bad business practice and anti-consumer decisions by publishers. Okay. Yeah, that's all just We live in weird times. I genuinely believe most people's mental health could be incredibly improved if they, one, were not sedentary, two, did not just live online. I think that the internet was both incredible for socialization in terms of having the ability to communicate and learn from other people all around the world, but then it also became really, really bad because excessive tribalism. And if you don't think exactly like somebody else, then you can just block that. Whereas in a normal tribe, you will have individuals who disagree with your point of view about something, whether it is as benign as a favorite flavor of pie or as big as views on death penalty, things like that, how to handle crime and whatever. So because of that, people have lost the ability to just reason and be at peace with somebody else who doesn't share their exact same views. There was a joke post that I made underneath a Biden tweet. So Biden put out that he's the president and he's the nominee and he's staying, right? And so Ed Krasenson, you know the Krasen boys, those incredible lefty twins who are all over the place, farming up that sweet Twitter revenue, making 20 to 50 grand every paycheck. I actually have no idea what they make. But he basically said a very polite, hey, maybe you should step down and let Kamala have a chance. And I just said, oh man, this sounds like right-wing extremism /S. And then he got, oh, why? Because I don't fall in line with the tribe? And I'm like, yeah, actually, that's what happens. I have been called both an extremist leftist and an extremist righty by both sides because I don't fit in with either of them. And so when you are not fitting the tribe mold, you get called what they think is the worst possible thing. And I just found it quite humorous. Let me find his exact wording because it's a little funny. It's a little funny just to look at it because oh my God, they're really tweeting here for Biden's account. I'm pretty sure that it was here. Was it? I don't think it was yesterday. I think it was before that. Unless they deleted it. And this isn't that wasn't me claiming like who should be for what, but it's just funny. I don't care about fucking politics like that. It's two sides of the same corrupt coin. Oh my God, Biden, I am the sitting president. Where's that tweet? Got to look it up. Top. Here it is. So where's our boy? Here we go. So we'll go ahead and put it over here. Hopefully that didn't expose anything awkward. So we've got the original post. How's it look? Perfect. So Biden says, I'm the sitting president. I'm the nominee. I'm staying in the race. And then he goes, I respect the decision, but if the polls show that Kamala has the better shot of beating Trump, don't you think it would be worth stepping down? And then here it is. You sound like a right-wing extremist with this take because I have an opinion that isn't 100% in line with the tribe. I want Trump to lose. That's my top priority. And I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah, actually, that's kind of the point there. It says 104, but I guess 104 were just bots, or 100 of them were bots. I don't even know. I don't care about the political discourse back and forth. I don't know what anybody said to me. Oh, so yeah, so if you ever want to know if something is truly spam or not, get off of your main account and go to another one and then see how it handles the responses. You'd be shocked at how many things you see on your main that under a different account would not be shown. That can also help you weed out things really well. Extremist lady of culture. Yeah, exactly. And it's true, though. It's true. I don't fit into either political side. Some people might think that, oh, well, she's conservative because she doesn't like the government and is, hanging out with all these right-wing people. Well, no. It doesn't have anything to do with my politics. The people who you consider right-wing are actually really nice people, and I get along with them really well. We don't agree on everything. In fact, I'm the weirdest fucking individual out of all of them. But they tolerate me, and they don't say, oh, you know, you don't think exactly the way we do, so you have to leave. Whereas, you know, I'd have more lefty friends, openly lefty friends, if they didn't do that excessive tribalism thing. And I do actually have some more left-leaning friends, and, you know, they're not even 100% left-leaning, so they're kind of cast out into the middle of the road like I am. But, you know, I'm a yaoi, yuri, hentai-loving individual. That's not very right-wing. But I want government out of my fucking life, and I want creative freedom for all, which is apparently bad to both. Except for the government part. But yeah, I just want lower taxes too, man. And they are. You bring up a good point. People are naturally instinctively tribal, for better or for worse. So when people go out of their way to claim that they're not, it raises red flags before you get a chance to elaborate. And that too. We are inherently tribal. We look for things to bond over with each other. Some are more shallow than others, and some are much deeper. When you let's say, you know, in fandom, let's go ahead and do this. You are technically being tribal if you don't seek out somebody who likes something different than you, right? So like when I'm looking for my fan art, I want to go see something that I like, and then I'm going to want to surround myself by those people who keep putting out the thing I like. That's tribal. That's inherently tribalism right there. And there's nothing wrong with it when it's done in a healthy way. But when it starts being excessive and it takes over your entire personality and your entire life to such an extreme that you actively go hate, harass, wish death on, dox, or waste your time like attacking nonstop and just being negative to people who aren't like you, then there's a freaking problem and you got some chemical imbalances. You're basically a libertarian. So I took one of those silly political tests. Apparently, I'm a little bit authoritarian, but I'm actually quite left-leaning, which is what I initially thought I would be. I'm very much, but so now farming and growing your own thing is considered right-wing and racist, which I don't know, man. I'm like a 90s liberal, I guess, or lefty. I don't even know what the right word is anymore. And that's not a bad thing. Most people are, they kind of just want to be left alone and take care of their lives in peace. Exactly. And that's what anybody really wants at the end of the day. And that's why we have so many normies who do just that, and why we're actually in the position that we are today. If people could be more focused on what was happening, I don't think that the people in power would be in power. If everybody, for example, I'm going to use Mitch McConnell because he's been in power for so long, or he was in power for so long. Did he finally lose? I have no idea. I haven't seen him in forever. I stay away from like all that stuff. Mitch McConnell would not have been in power as long as he was if every single person in the state had the educated truth around what he did or what he didn't do. More precisely, what he didn't do. He was not a benefit to the state. I really do believe that, you know, people like Nancy Pelosi would not be in power if it wasn't for the uneducated, excessive tribalism. Because at the end of the day, things are only getting worse for most people. And something's got to give. But all the politicians appear to be getting very, very rich, sometimes very quickly. Classic liberal, like Sargon. I'm right-wing, but I told the death squad, you are right. I said, this savvy chick is okay. We can spare her. Bless. Yeah, so, I don't know. You're basically a type A white. Wait, what? The stupid heart is in the way. I can't see. I don't know how to get rid of white something. Oh, Eric July. Wait, what? That is a hard-working man right there. He definitely, I don't know, man. That man works exceptionally hard. You're Harley to Eric's Joker. Maybe. Oh man. Oh yeah, no, I love whenever I get to do the live streams and stuff with him. He's so fucking chill, man. You're mostly influenced by Ayn Rand, in my view, so I share some of the pain of not fitting in anywhere. Read some Hans Hermann Hope. I am one of the most poorly read individuals. I definitely do need to catch up on my reading. I spent most of my time participating in fantasy and making my own worlds and stories and things like that instead of just reading what I probably should have been reading the entire time. But the way that I read too is really stupid. So I'll read something within 24 hours and then I won't read anything for like 3 or 4 months. I don't know. I finally read the book that Justified was initially based off of. That was very cool. I really enjoyed that story. That author was very talented, and yeah, I've got some. Yeah, I read in bursts, but it's not the best. I wish I did read more. From what I've heard of Rand, she sounds pretty accurate. Yeah, and I think I really do think that if our government had focused on actually promoting education and making sure that everybody actually got a proper education and taught people how to look things up, again, none of the people in power would be in power. I don't ever try to get political in the sense that I want to tell people how to vote or, I don't want anyone, nobody, let's be real, nobody's going to be influenced by what I fucking say. But it's fucking noise, right? Is the politician for or against censorship? It's a yes or no question. That's my only real concern and kind of how I talk about it. And then same thing with the two sides of the same corrupt coin. I've always been a prominent viewer of we need a 3 to 5 party system. We need to get big bucks out of politicians. That kind of thing. So this is where I come from it, right? So let me grab pharma companies. Here we go. This is what I look at. I look to see what are businesses doing? What is happening? What's really influencing our politicians, right? And so, okay, I'm glad that you can see both of them here. So pharmaceutical companies, look at this shit. So big pharma, right? We got Pfizer, Abbott, AbbVie, Johnson & Johnson, all of these, right? Look at, fuck pharma. Fuck big pharma. You know why they do this? Because they want to cozy up to whoever they think is going to be in power. And so when you see one side getting more in donations, it's not, get out of here, fuck you. Oh, I'm sorry, this is open source. It's not actually them. It wasn't a pharmaceutical company asking for donations. I just got triggered. Anytime somebody asks me for money, I'm like, get out of here. But yeah, so when you see them give more money to one side or the other, you can actually kind of gauge what might happen or what they're trying to do. So get ad block. Yeah, I know. I technically have it, but so I have a feeling the only reason why Republicans are currently getting more money right now, and it's not by much, is because they think possibly Trump might have a higher chance of winning, so they want to cozy up to Republicans. I also need to look at current laws that are going around, because I thought that the most pharmaceutical and health products would be really like trying to really go hard on the Democrats. So that's really interesting, because obviously the pharmaceutical companies want to continue to profit off of certain hot topic issues. So it's a little bit interesting. I've been oh well, thank you for being summoned. The visceral reaction being asked money. Yes, exactly. It's I hate it, man. I hate being asked for money. But yeah, so like in my eyes, the way that I read this and the way that you guys can't see this. Hang on, I gotta readjust. Boop. There we go. So now you can see how it's split. We're gonna get rid of this. Okay, so you can see again, it's pretty much down the freaking middle. Like 399,000 to Democrats, 396 to Republicans, right? For a total of 796. Now, for Pfizer, that's not a lot of money. And again, I don't give a shit if you're Republican or Democrat. We need to look at this and say, why the fuck is Pfizer allowed to donate so much money to politicians? What do they want? What backdoor conversations are they having? What are they discussing? Why are governments giving them immunity for any potential lawsuits that may come from any injuries, from anything that happened in the last 6 years? Why is that happening? Same thing with Johnson & Johnson. They've had some pretty big fucking lawsuits pop up. Why are they spending money on politicians in a near 50-50 split? That's a little concerning. I'd like that to be out of my politics, but apparently that is an extreme view, and I have no idea who's gonna call me what, and I don't care, because I take issue with this. This should not be a thing. This should not happen. Our politicians should not, I don't care again what side of the aisle you are on, our politicians should not be influenced by money coming in from any major corporation, pharmaceutical industry, whatever. That's one fatal flaw on the American system that I see, allowing donations by corpos just like individuals. Yes, it is gross. It is gross. It is wrong. Look at what happens with the insider trading. We all know that it happens. Nancy Pelosi has no idea what the fuck NVIDIA is. She's not sitting there with a 50/2 split KD. She's not a Call of Duty god. She doesn't know what's happening, and yet she's making millions of dollars in just a few months off of NVIDIA after having a conversation with them after some legislation changes. Come on, all right? I'm stupid. I'm very dumb, but I'm not that dumb. You're not gonna pull that one over me. So those are the types of things that I personally look at, and this is all I care about too when it comes to politics. Why the fuck is that happening? Oh, 2021 to 2022. Okay, but still, again, interesting context. I'm against all that stuff. Very stupid. 99% of us hate that shit, and yet it still goes on. The way that I see it, in a perfect world, and this will never happen, a politician, especially with the way that we are so hyper-connected, could literally have an official government website. We already have government websites where you log in using your social security number. But they could put out single ticket items, say, hey, population, hey, American people, sign in with your social security and vote. So that way they can gauge the public reaction. Now, some people are saying, well, it can be gamed and it would be lied about. You're absolutely right. Hackers can do the hacking thing. 4chan can come in and cast 500 million votes in 30 seconds. All right? But we got to try something different. We live in such a connected time where it is entirely possible to be able to vote and communicate more openly with our politicians who are supposed to be representing us. Again, doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. And people will be split. You know, some people, even down the left and the right, you know, that people don't agree on everything. But having the ability to gauge what your people actually want, like, weed should not be something, it should be federally legal, right? Like, 85% of the population, 90% of the population wants that. Nobody should be in jail for the possession of marijuana. Marijuana is not nearly as dangerous or addictive or whatever as cocaine or other stuff, right? So then of course we go down a slippery slope of like, well, if enough cocaine users fucking vote, maybe we can decriminalize that too. But you get what I mean, right? So like things like that, just making it, things like that so you can actually gauge your population's desires. The problem is that politicians can vote laws that shape the market. When they can do that, they will sell this power to those who can afford it. Exactly. This entire world is run by like 7 individuals. It's fucking terrifying. The biggest thing that you need to look out for is the asset managers. They are insane. They are asses, and they want to manage and control the world. Again, I don't want to, go through and just read everything that I've tweeted about already. Where is it? Where's my Blackstone? I'm sorry. My Blackstone deep dive, but I'll go ahead and put it on on screen and we'll kind of talk a little, tiny little bit about it. I didn't think that I honestly would, but whatever. How long have we been live for? An hour 15? Okay. So I also didn't want to do too terribly long of a stream just because I am really smackledorfed in the head just from being in the sun. So I apologize for that. But so I said, let's do a deep dive into Blackstone, who's often confused with BlackRock. But they are just as bad for the world. Now, typically, I don't make statements like that, and I probably really shouldn't have. But with everything that I found, I believe, honestly, there is not one single person who would look at the things that I've compiled here and say that that is a net benefit for the world. My goal, and unfortunately, I did fail here. I try not to persuade people into believing something or making a statement like that, and I completely failed here. Black Pebble is even worse. Is that a meme or are they real? Because we got BlackRock, Blackstone, and Black Pebble. It was a correct statement to make. Even if you agree with me, it's just what I try to do. But I genuinely did get really, really upset and emotional looking into this because there's an area down here that I would actually really like to talk about. So this, how are we looking? Oh, I gotta move this back over. Oh no, I'm failing you all. There we go. How are the animals doing? Yes. Oh, look, you're hungry. Here, have a plate of spaghetti. Here you go. It's magic. It's refilled. There we go. Armin and these two are gonna breed and make beautiful babies. All right. So I told you, they're there for me, not for you guys. They're there for me. So Blackstone. Anyway, so I failed. I should have remained objective, and I should have just let people come to their own conclusion, not make a mission statement at the beginning, but obviously what I found just made me very distraught. So Blackstone bought up a majority stake in the largest Swedish property manager, upped rent by up to 42%, and over 3 years bought an additional 5,000 properties, bringing the total Swedish-owned properties to 21,000. All right. So 21,000 apartments or homes, places where people lived, their fucking shelter. Right? Blackstone bought up all of this stuff and raised rent arbitrarily by 42%. Now, it's claimed in here that they fixed up the buildings. But if you actually continue to read, the people said, well, no, because some of these problems have been around for a long time, from chipped paint to other issues, right? So without really improving much, they jacked rent up by 42%. How is that okay? It came under fire from the tenant union, but they got out before anyone could notice what was really going on. Blackstone came in, raised the rent, took the money, and got the hell out. A Social Democrat MP said, "We aren't used to that in Sweden. We're used to companies like Volvo and IKEA." So it's really, really concerning. And Blackstone owns hundreds of thousands of homes across the globe. They came out and they said that they're super stoked to invest in the Japanese market, but they're not stopping there. They're going to China, India, and Australia. They are actively buying up homes to raise rent. They are actively contributing to the global housing crisis. People can't afford that. You cannot come in, change rent by 40%, and expect people to still be able to live. Most people renting, they don't have an insane amount of money saved up. That's why they're renting. How are young people supposed to come into that? They can't. This is wrong. This is evil. And I don't give a shit that the dude's politics. I don't care what they are. The politics don't matter. Nobody gives a shit about that because they're morally bankrupt. You can hide under, oh, well, I'm a Republican, so Republicans have to like me. Oh, I like Trump. Well, no, you're a piece of shit. It sounds like it should be a crime. In California, they've come under fire for working with the University of California. The University of fucking California gave them a total of $4.5 billion for them to gamble on real estate. So the way that they're doing this, so from my limited understanding, is that Blackstone uses their rental properties as a source of profit to then share amongst the investors investing in them. So the more investors they get, the more money that they get, the more they can buy houses, the more they jack up rent, the more profit that they make. And you're probably thinking, well, how the fuck are people able to afford this? Well, they're not. They're not. Like, if these were just commercial products, wouldn't care so much. But these are not just commercial real estate. This is literally homes, apartments. Like it's insane. They're an asset manager. So they basically get in, they say, hey, let us manage your money for you and we'll make you more money. They don't give a shit about politics. They want to cozy up to who's ever going to provide them the most benefits. And the Blackstone individual he's super vocal about lesser taxes, right? So he makes, what is it, 1.2 billion annually, which fine, get your money. Don't care about that. I don't care, but it's how you're getting the money, which fuck. I think I might have deleted the part out of here where I actually talked about. Yeah, so I only have the part where they were fined. But the guy makes 1.2 billion annually. And it's like fuck. Like the way that they're making money, I think, is evil. It's not up to me, though, to decide that. But objectively speaking, I don't think that there's any other conclusion that you can come to. If you buy up an entire city's worth of housing and then you jack rent up by 42%, you can't tell me that that's a good thing. That's objectively bad. If it was commercial real estate, you should also care. Otherwise, jobs would be in trouble, too. I guess, you know what? That's true. That's true. I shouldn't have said it like that. But the flip to that is, well, then companies would just not get massive buildings. They would downsize accordingly, or they would work from home. And then the individuals who are not productive would get terminated. And that's kind of how it is. Because most jobs are just paper pushing, right? Like, there's a lot of people who work in the tech support, help desks, spreadsheets. All of that stuff can be done from home. So, and they use zoning laws to impede additional buildings to compete. Yes, they do. They do. What I don't understand is why antitrust laws aren't being applied when companies reach this point. They own shares across the entire S&P 500. They can't fall unless the entire stock market crashes. You can't tell me that this isn't a monopoly. It's terrifying. This is the kind of stuff that, while yes, I'm obviously subjecting myself to it and reading it, and the threads are very dry. It's important, but it's also demoralizing because you're like, how do you stop it? You know, this greed, this hunger for money is insane. I did bring up the fact that they do have a DEI page, but again, DEI is just another source of funding for them, right? So governments, you know, they give financial incentives to do DEI, ESG. If those things were removed, I guarantee Blackstone wouldn't have it and they wouldn't give a shit. Most companies wouldn't. There are financial incentives to having those things. So this does not matter to me. I don't care that they have a DEI page because I know it means nothing based off of all of the business choices that they're making. If they gave a shit about inclusivity or equity, do you really think that they would be raising rent of homes by upwards of 40%? Do you think that they would actively try to impede legislation in California that prevents companies like Blackstone doing what they're doing? No, they don't give a shit. But because they have a fucking Blackstone, and I put BlackRock here instead of Blackstone like a dummy. But because Blackstone has a DEI page, they're now shielded because they do something decent. No company gives a fuck. I promise you, no one gives a fuck. They want money and they want funding and they want tax breaks. They don't give a fuck about ESG. They don't care about the environment. It doesn't behoove them to. You know, some people do. I understand that there's some philanthropic individuals, but at the end of the day, you don't make it to the top by giving a shit about others. You have to be selfish in some ways, but some do give back. But overall, like, again, Blackstone does not give a shit, right? Based off of their business choices. And it's so obnoxious. This is, in fact, the reason I think that there was so much wagon circling on the Sweet Baby thing. DEI is probably an international corruption scandal. So DEI and things like Sweet Baby are literally just a symptom of an existing problem. People are bullying people who otherwise would not have jobs or would not have those positions, who wouldn't have jobs right now, have them because of this artificial problem that they've created. And they sell a solution. But what it does is helps them get temporary funding. I don't know if they've been hired recently. I don't know if they've announced a brand new partnership, but everything coming out right now that they had a hand in was something that was already started back in 2018 or 2019. So going forward, I think we see less games actually having them listed on their docket, because again, everything coming out right now has already been in development for the past 4, 5, 6 years. I haven't seen anything brand new announced that they say that they're working on. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not working on anything. It doesn't mean that they haven't been approached. But I just genuinely think that we see less of it because anything that they've worked on has not really done that well. Or even if it does do well, they are the primary complaint of something. The Spider-Man 2 thing. How do you have a consultant group that claims to be experts in diversity but can't get a fucking flag right? That's a red flag to me. Wouldn't hire them. If you have a product and you say, well, we hired DEI consultants who help make sure that our characters have representation or whatever, that they have unique backgrounds, and then you fail on that, I wouldn't hire you. And I would absolutely expect that same sentiment to be given straight back at me. If I sell myself as somebody who's really good at making jiggle physics, and then I fail miserably on those jiggle physics, I would fully expect to not get hired. That's just the nature of life. Will they be driven underground because of this? Still doing everything, but just not announcing it proudly? Well, no, because you can't hide things that well. The truth always comes out. I genuinely believe that companies want to make money. And at some point, the free money, the funding, the ESG money, the DEI stuff, it will only go so far. There will be a breaking point. Why do you think so many studios are getting shut down? Why do you think Zhao had to do, the studio who made Zhao has to have layoffs? If there's no money coming in, you don't even get to work underground anymore because there's no work. This is just how it is. Yeah, but hiring one of those increases your ESG score that some politician put into law, that if you have good score, you get a grant or at least some tax breaks. And that only goes so far. Let's say you have the VC investor, right? And he's super, super hardcore onto ESG and DEI, right? And you say, hey, man, I've got this super DEI, ESG friendly game that's got crazy amounts of diversity. And we qualify for these kinds of tax breaks, right? And then he says, okay, here's a bunch of money. Can't wait to get my money back. Well, when that DEI, ESG, VC capitalism fucking deep pockets, man, at the end when the product comes out and then it doesn't sell, and he goes, where's my money? Where's my investment? I don't know. We got the tax breaks, though. Well, then he's not going to keep investing in the studio because he didn't get anything back. It just doesn't work that way. And that's why we see now the latest funding has started to shift to the Middle East. Everybody wants that Saudi money. And so we're going to see a lot more of that happening. It's crazy when you take a step back and kind of look at how we go through these cycles. You know, it's always been a thing. DEI and ESG were just the latest ones that lasted for a while because the money was good. And then the pandemic kind of really smackle-dwarfed everything there. As someone who believes in Tao, acceleration to the AAA gaming collapse is the only way out. At the moment of collapse, we can then rebuild a new gaming world with indies. That's our chance. Yeah, and you know, indies Indies will eventually become so successful that they're no longer indie anymore. You know, the studio that made Pal World, for example, they got an insane amount of money from the success of their sales. They didn't have any investors. They didn't have any of that. They did that on their own. And so more people will see that and get inspired by that. And then more and more studios will continue to come out. And so if they give players what they want, then there'll be success. But so long as there's also got to be a level of passion there, obviously. The problem is internal DEI departments and indoctrination courses will emerge. Will be employee training. They'll try this before giving up. Yeah, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that it's going to work on a practical scale. It's, you know, will the next few years possibly still suck? Yeah, it's entirely possible. But we have an incredible backlog of entertainment that, thanks to the internet, you know, allows for us to enjoy. But on top of that, indie studios, you know, like what Pal World was. I don't know if people still call them indie anymore, based off of the money that they got. But you know, new creators, niche creators, you know, they're all out there. Fan artists, for example, they all have niches. People, I'm a bloody niche, you know, like. I have people message me all the time who, even though my commissions are closed, they still want to work with me, and they're like, "Oh, you gotta let me know as soon as you open them back up." And so I wouldn't call myself anything. I just happen to sell art, but like that kind of like indie small scale thing, you know, that grows eventually if you start to scale. Like if I was smart and actually sold my fucking art instead of just doing commissions for 10 years. It would be, you know, I could possibly already have like a small studio with 2 people working for me. But pretty much, Kirsha is doing a lot more work in reading those bridge documents and talks. Yes, I have tons of tabs open up back here on bridge and the people behind it. And I'm slowly basically doing another one of my schizo boards, like is back over yonder. But I'm also working on some more formal looking reports in attempts to possibly talk to politicians on both sides of the aisle, and just kind of put it out there and say, hey, look, you know, this is kind of what's happening with the entertainment world based off of these laws. Could we make some slight adjustments and try to actually get some change? And if it works, awesome. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. At least I can say that I tried, because at the end of the day, again, it all circles back to censorship for me. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to change what their vision was just to appease some VC, a shareholder, or whatever, right? You know, I don't want somebody to be told that they can't make something, or that, oh, that's too white, or oh, that's too Asian, or whatever. You know, I don't think anybody should ever be told that when it comes to their creations. There's also where fan art and game dev collide, giving us gems like HoloCure. Yeah, actually, you know, sometimes the fan art or the modders, you know, they actually get hired. They get jobs based off of what they create. That's happened a number of times. Actually, Pokemon, they do a great job of doing community contests to have fans be able to make Pokemon cards that are officially licensed and sold. I think that that's beautiful. There's a lot of crossover there, and when you have things like that, you know, that really aids to the success of things when you really engage with your fans and stuff like that. So I don't know. There's a lot. I could go on and on and on and on for days about all of this. But at the end of it all, I genuinely had thought, I had hoped naively that we would eventually live in a world where censorship was not a fear for anybody. And unfortunately, it's worse than ever, I think, on a global scale. Obviously, at certain points, certain regions had far more censorship. But in terms of the global consideration of censorship, I think it's honestly some of the worst that it's ever been. Hoyoverse, MiHoYo, was an indie company 10 years ago, literally 3 Chinese guys that liked anime. It's kind of touching to see the video of Dawei, I'm probably pronouncing the name wrong, trying to tell investors that people like anime girls, and now investors can't get enough. And they're going to make their dumbass comments. And then we have censorship. And notice how it all comes full circle. Speaking of Hoyo, in terms of censorship, Parrot 4chan just had them terminate his sponsorship agreement because of some offensive stuff in his video. I'm going to have to look into that. I don't know who Parrot 4chan is or what Parrot 4chan is. I will have to definitely look. But, yeah, at the end of the day, it's all connected. CCP stuff. Yeah. It's really sad. It's really sad that we have any sort of comparison to something literally called, isn't it literally called the Chinese Communist Party? The fact that anybody could draw any parallels to America that sells itself as the land of the free, the fact that anybody could make any comparison to a Chinese Communist Party is wild to me. But I am so concerned for censorship. You know, payment processors. Blackstone also, a few years ago, I believe it was 2019 or 2020, they are now the majority holder of the Sony payment processor, which is Japan's largest payment processor. And payment processors get to bully websites and say, we're not going to work with you if you allow these types of things. So that is something that I will actively be watching now that I'm aware of it. And I need to do a bit more of a deep dive to see if they have ever made any requests to Japanese politicians or Japanese websites to see if they have ever tried to enforce any form of censorship. I think that needs to go into my master thread on payment processors. I enjoy bullying them with words, with their own words, and their own hypocrisies, and their own bleh. Tag you on Twitter? Okay, thank you. Yes, I do play Genshin. There is nothing wrong with that. A lot of Hoyo's customers are in China, so they need to adhere to their censorship standards. This is the reason why Genshin has Mona redesigned a couple years ago. And yeah, and again, like, I understand that. And I understand that companies have to adhere and storytellers have to adhere if they want something to be able to be sold in the country that they live in. And I realize that I have an idyllic view in hopes, but, you know, the Chinese government should not be doing what they're doing in terms of censorship the way that they are. There's a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing. I'm not qualified to speak on any of the other things. But when it comes to censorship, I think that it is perfectly acceptable to make the statement, well, they shouldn't be doing that. No government should be censoring, fiction. Creative expression is so important to everybody around the world. Now, again, this has nothing to do with the success of something, with the free market engaging with it. This is just literally people should be allowed to draw and create what they want. Whether or not it sells is completely different. Completely different. Fictional content should not be censored the way that it is. And I think that that's, when they make the stupid requests to Disney, oh, you have to take out the Statue of Liberty. That's fucking stupid. Everybody knows what the I should not say that. Not everybody knows what the Statue of Liberty is. But there is no reason for that. That is so stupid and asinine to be. But you know what? Instead of Disney saying, well, we're not going to do that, we're going to actually withhold our product. We're going to withhold our creativity from your market. Yes, it hurts us a little bit because we get so much money from you. But your own people can then go and complain to the government and say, okay, well, why can't they come here? And then the government says, oh, well, they're just evil because they're not removing harmful parts of the movie. And then they get educated and like, well, why does that even fucking matter? And then peacefully protest in the hopes of changing the censorship law. But obviously something called the CCP is not going to take kindly to protests. So Yeah. Yeah. Removing the Twin Towers from the Punisher game. Yeah, exactly. That stuff should not be censored. Am I playing have you ever playing a classic? What, the pets down there? We got some happy doggies walking around. Please talk to Ian Carroll about GameStop. It'll be a very interesting conversation. Who is that? And should I be concerned? What's going on with GameStop? Honestly, right now I'm genuinely just rambling. But it all circles back. It all circles back to censorship. It really does. I just tagged you under one of. Okay. Thank you guys for this. It all circles back to censorship. Video games, movies, TV shows, books. None of it should be censored. The free market again decides success, and that is completely irrelevant. But people should be free to create and draw what they want. This has been a hot minute. I wonder if I still have my pet CD. Yes! I know I still have mine somewhere. I remember a little protest in Beijing back in '89. It didn't end well. Yeah. Playing the first Descendant with its waifus. So I heard that it's definitely got some problems. I would have been way more into it if they didn't have as many microtransactions as they did, or monetization things out the gate. But I am curious to see how it will develop. Apparently, some people also really complained about the repetitive nature of it. Like, it's too repetitive. But yeah, no, I hope that you have fun with it. But yeah, I think entertainment. So entertainment is also obviously a very touchy subject. But I genuinely believe that you do not mess with people's escapism. Governments shouldn't be censoring things, and I think that when entertainment is messed with, you will see some pretty decent sized protests around that. We haven't had overly, how do I word this? We haven't had overt discussions from politicians about censorship. So most people are not aware of how deep that it can go. But I think if people understood, and this is for any region, I think if they understood how much their government might be controlling them, you would see more people rise up, kind of. But it's also a very naive, safe basement dwelling point of view to have that thought of like, well, you don't know what it's like and how scary it is to live in a place where communism and the military can break down your door and come and take you away, and that's very true. And that's again, I acknowledge that I come from a naive, idyllic perspective, and it's wrong that we live in a world where there are people experiencing that where they cannot express themselves. I might disagree with plenty of takes on Twitter, but I'm glad that we live in a country where that can happen. Obviously, there are places around the world where that cannot happen. And I worry that we are getting a little bit close to places like that. We have Canada and England and some other places that have attempted to have basically compulsory laws around the way that you speak. And that scares me. I don't want America to have that. So, at least where protesting is legal, yes. But still probably better than gotcha-based. Oh, yes, I understand. What scares me most is AI, that we are trying to implement in cars, the internet, and basically everything. AI contaminated by critical race theory scares me. AI in general should scare you. It's not even just critical race theory. It's actually, it goes more than that, because any AI can be trained in any way. And if it goes too far in one direction or the other, that is bad to me. If people are trying to integrate AI into everyone's life, it needs to be the most unbiased thing possible, but such unbiased levels cannot be achieved. There will always be bias from a developer or who's ever made it or whatever information has been fed into it. There's the internet functions in one way, the real world functions in another. And those things don't line up a lot of the times. AI is going to get very scary. It's going to get scary in ways that humans are not ready for. People are already using it in horrifying ways. I think AI can be beautiful, but at the end of the day, humanity's own hubris will be its downfall, and unfortunately AI will be the beginning of the end. And people can say that I'm like some doomsday prepper or pessimistic about things, but ultimately it will happen. And why is that? Because you know, how many people are going to end up in prison over falsified phone calls and recordings? How many people will get scammed because they think a loved one has been taken hostage? How many people will have their lives ruined by deep fake porn videos? How many people will be terrified to post anything online for fear of being replicated? You know, it's gonna be very scary. Yeah, you're in Canada and not good what's happening. I am half Canadian. I am very aware of all the things going on up there thanks to my grandparents. Beginning in 2026, if the car's computer believes the driver is driving bad, it will shut down. Yeah, AI is wrong a lot. We are all actively testing. We are all QA. We are all QA. There was a semi-funny video that came out recently with the self-driving car getting pulled over by a police officer. Self-driving car police officer. Here it is. You know, we'll just show a little bit of this video just that way everybody has the context of it.
31 Adam for as well.
So I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. So he has to call tech support essentially and let them know that the vehicle
cars can be seen throughout the city driving safely
they have
and
a
behaving
whole
civilly. He got sideswiped by a Waymo on a mission with no
whole thing. Okay. Well,
and because the
I just wanted the artwork. Okay, anyway. So you can kind of see this. So a self-driving vehicle came into oncoming traffic and the police officer had to pull it over. And then he called tech support and they're like, oh, I guess we'll look into it. Well, who's held accountable for that? We are all QA testers right now, whether we like it or not. At least the car didn't throw an acorn at the cop. If you find porn of me with a Buster sword, it's probably not a deep fake. Bless be. But yeah, so things like this. We're all QA testers. The people on the road did not consent to driving with driverless vehicles. So how do you acknowledge that? We're just forced to let these tech companies do this? It's very weird. If the car company gets too big to sue, will cops, counties ever win? I don't know. But it's also part of, well, how do we advance? How do we get to a stage where we don't have to have drivers, you know, for truck drivers, for example. You know, the only way we get there is through having live QA testing. That's terrifying. Very scary. Don't want to drive anywhere ever. I think because of this, at least for 10 years, we'll see more of a renaissance to people going back to nature and trying to live further away from cities. Or the inverse is more people live in cities where they don't have to drive and just walk everywhere. Final destination, QA. Yes. Car spying on drivers is a collaborative effort with the insurance industry. They can monitor your driving and base your insurance rates based off of results. Yes. Yes, it's... No one consented to being monitored the way that we are. And politicians were too stupid and too greedy. I shouldn't say that they were too stupid. Although I sort of associate greed and stupidity together, but not in a manner perhaps that most people might immediately jump to. So the politicians take money from tech companies. So instead of the tech companies being decent creatures, instead of opting into something, you have to opt out. But even if you opt out, you may not really be opting out. And if you don't agree to something, then you're just completely shut out of the ecosystem completely, which sometimes can hinder business. And then you might say, well, it's their right to run their business how they want. Exactly. And that is very true. But at what point because that business eats up its competition, are they labeled a monopoly? And then by not letting people participate in their ecosystem, they are actively hurting their ability to function in the real world. You know, the dystopian application for AI is endless. Yeah. Can you sue Tesla for an auto drive-by shooting? Jesus Christ, I have no idea. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's all... This got really deep. This got really weird. I love conversations like this. I really do. This is not what the HR basement was meant to dive into, but that's fine. Mostly because I didn't have too much specifically to talk about today. So I like it. I like this, though. So long as you guys are entertained, that's all that matters. I'm by no means a philosopher or a tech expert in all areas, but I think I've seen enough dystopian shit to have at least a minor opinion of just how bad things could get. If the business is big enough to rival a nation, they need tighter regulation. See, and that it's truly difficult. It's truly difficult because I don't want to claim any sort of authority or, you know, try to imply that people shouldn't be able to get their bread, you know? If you create a company and this entire time you've only taken 5% out of the company's annual revenue as your paycheck, if you did that from day one, and let's say you only on day one you made $5, right? Well, 10 years later, if that $5 turns into, you know, 50 million, okay, well, you know, I don't want to put a regulation on that, but I want to look at what the business is doing as a whole, how it's making its money. Is it ethical? But then we get down to ethical, still somehow granting moral authority because who decides what's ethical? And then you could say, well, that should be common sense because, you know, you should be against slavery and things like that. Absolutely. But look what's fucking happened. We are a nation that is actively against slavery. And yet, actively, companies engage with other places that are actively doing some form of slavery, like the unethical treatment of workers in Africa, in the mines. How are we getting our lithium and the batteries and all of these materials for our wonderful tech things? Slavery is fun. Slavery is fun in the bedroom when everyone is consenting, but it's not fun if you're sweating out in the sun, making pennies if you're lucky, for a company that's making billions. And then, so the other thing, if we go back to this, how do we also handle that lack of ethical behavior? So Blackstone makes an insane amount of money constantly. They were also fined, Blackstone, a company owned by Blackstone, I should specify, not Blackstone themselves, but it's still Blackstone because it's a company that they own, was fined $1.5 million for child labor scandals. A small price to pay given what they're worth. That is insane to me. So this company who's making, you know, billions of dollars, who is capable of paying out their CEO alone $1.2 billion annually, they had to pay $1.5 million for child labor scandals. $1.5 million is a drop in the bucket once you get into a company that is able to make tens of billions. This didn't solve anything. I bet you they didn't stop. I bet they're just now more careful about getting caught. But I guarantee that this is still going on through something that they're doing. It's terrifying. With regards to the internet, we don't really have a Bill of Rights, so big tech make up rules as they go and often don't benefit most because profits are the main focus. Exactly. They kind of taught that poor AI that 9 plus 10 is 21 for the lulz. Exactly. Everything can be manipulated. The problem is that the owners aren't just one person. They're a massive shareholders. It's not a democracy. The goal is making money. The purpose of a system is what it produces. Very true. Very true. It is cheaper to pay the violations than it is to stop what is causing the violation. Yep. So how do we really handle the problem? We can educate people all we want, but we can't deny the convenience of our iPhones. Can't deny the convenience of the Samsung. I'm going to be fair, Android and Apple, both violators of ethics. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, and I hate saying this, people don't care enough because their own life isn't being personally impacted. In fact, if they said, they're using child labor to get the metals, the precious metals used in my phone, well, it's not my kid. My life is positively impacted by this phone. Why would I give it up? I lose a source of revenue if I get rid of my phone. I can't speak to my family if I get rid of my phone. It sucks. Okay, well, fuck. And here we are. And it really sucks. We need regulations, but lobbying, again, that's part of the stupid pharmaceutical thing that I brought up. Both sides are giving they're giving both sides money. The pharmaceutical industry actively funds both sides because they want to lobby. They want to make sure that they're protected. We don't live in a world where the politicians and the people in power give a shit about the people. They care about themselves. And it's very, very tragic. And this business of, all the leftists have caused so many problems, and now we're going to have a red wave, and it's going to be global, and the pendulum's going to swing. Well, so here's the issue with pendulum swinging. We're all the way over on one side right now, and shit sucks. The pendulum's going to swing at some point and go all the way to the other side, and shit will still suck. Now, for a brief period of time, we'll be in that sweet, sweet, beautiful middle area. But just like with anything in life, unfortunately, the greed and the power hunger of individuals who get that power, they're not going to give it up. And again, we just need a benevolent dictator. Kind of. But speaking of dictator, Biden's tweet. I don't know if you guys watched the interview with Biden. Again, this is not a dig at one political side or another. But to me, to an individual who hears, when George Stephanopoulos, he was very kind and polite and courteous and whatever. He pressed Biden and he said, if the people around you asked you to step aside for somebody else to defeat Donald Trump, would you do it? And he says, unless it's the Lord himself, no. Those to me are the words of a dictator, somebody who is so hungry for power that they won't let go and pass the torch off to somebody else who can handle it. Again, this is not a dig to say left or right or whatever to try to influence voting. All I'm doing is looking at the language that was used, and to me personally, those were the words of somebody who is so deep into the greed of power. And that's wrong. That's so wrong to me. And then, of course, you're going to have the extremists say, no, he's just as firm as ever and as spry as the day he first entered politics. He knows what he's doing, and you're just a bigot, and you're being ageist. If you really then want to say that he's the best that you've got, that's really embarrassing. You're free to say that. You're free to believe it. But if that is genuinely the best that the Democrats have to offer, that is concerning. And the same can be said, well, Trump is the best the Republicans can offer. He's different. He's not necessarily a politician, but I also agree with the sentiment that there should be age limits, and I'm not excited about the age of either candidate, but there is a massive difference between them in terms of how they handle things. But at the end of the day, my stance remains that if you have a lot of people around you like that kind of asking you to step aside and say, hey, maybe Kamala would be the better option, and he says something unless the Lord himself tells me, and then people are going to say, oh, Trump did the same thing because the Republicans didn't want. Okay, I get it. Yes, and you get okay, my feelings are the same. Are you happy? Like, fuck. Biden had a cold, but he totally partied after the debate. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just try to look at things as objectively as possible. And at the end of the day, I'm not happy about the age of the two candidates. And, you know, I think, and here we go. Oh no, I think Kennedy talks about a lot of things that are really important to me. He talks about the farmers and, you know, the pesticide regulations and what's going on there. The food industry is so freaking important. People are getting cancer so much younger now. Colon cancer, for example, used to be something that you didn't, you know, routine colonoscopies used to be a thing that people did at 40 and older. I know too many people who have passed away from colon cancer before the age of 35. The fact that it is more than one hand's worth of names, it's terrifying to me. Something's got to change. And I'm not, oh, fuck. And then you have to go through everything and be like, it's nice. It's not the vaccines. Or maybe there are some vaccines that aren't needed. And maybe there's a lot of really great ones. Awesome. That's not what I'm talking about. Just with our food industry alone, I genuinely believe that the American food industry is contributing to higher cancer rates and has been because of the poor regulation. This is so far off the topic of gaming and censorship. But guess who gets to lobby the politicians? So, and then it all just circles back to corruption and things like that. I really am just rambling, but basically, there are things that each party talks about that I enjoy, and then there's a lot of things that each party talks about that I don't enjoy. I just wish that the people in power actually gave a damn about the people they're supposed to represent, and they don't. And then it all comes back down to censorship and investors. So what you're saying is it's corruption all the way down. It is. It's kind of all related. Yeah, it really is all related at the corruption level, because then you go back to, well, the rich people get to donate to the politicians. The rich people are on the boards of entertainment. The rich people are doing all this dumb shit to try to get richer because they don't care about anybody else. But all we want is our goddamn jiggle physics. It's it. It's time for a revolution. It really, empires, this is something else that I say a lot. Empires fall every 200 years, and unfortunately, America is overdue. We've seen it throughout all of history, and I really do think that we're going to see a pretty big, it's not going to be a standard collapse with gallows and burning buildings and things like that. It's going to be different. It's going to be very different now, but we'll see the revolution regardless in our lifetime. Censorship protects the corruption status quo. Yes, so nothing gets disrupted. It all relates to the agenda level. We put corn syrup in foods that are not supposed to be sweet. Yes, it's a giveaway for the food corporations. Yeah, 200 to 250 years. Yeah, and we're definitely overdue. But yeah, if we if our food industry had been regulated better, I genuinely think we would not have men would not have microplastics in their balls, and we wouldn't have the as bad of obesity as we do. It's time we stood and let them know that they may take our rights and our freedoms, but they'll never take our waifus. Exactly. I really think that it's going to be a waifu revolution that inspires it at the end of the day. How do we have free market capitalism when we give money to corporations just because they want it? Exactly. We don't. It's not truly a free market. That's the secret. I think the internet is pacifying people despite the division we've got. The ability to share and discuss the challenges is cathartic for people. It's true. A lot of it is cathartic for me. Being able to type and share the Blackstone thing that I did. Yes, I was depressed while reading it, but at the end of the day, it felt good to still put it out there. And just, even if one person found it informative, that was important to me, and it made me feel better. So, strangely enough, yeah, I think the nerddom fighting for their waifus is what may save the Western civilization from collapse. It's possible. As a wise anime character once said, live by the booby, die by the booby. It's true. It's true. You know, I go back to the dialogue of Pokemon quite often because there's a lot of wisdom in its simplicity. And one of my favorite little quotes and things that are said in Gen 6 is, it's important to experience other worldviews so that way you can expand your own. Now, obviously, Professor Sycamore, while being wise, is also a fucking retard because he simps for a man who essentially wants to commit genocide. But there is a little bit of wisdom in that because it's essentially speaking out against tribalism. I don't know where I'm going with that fucking point anymore. Jesus Christ. Sycamore is the best smart retard. He really is, man. I'm about to make myself cry from that. I'm like, I can't believe I really just did that. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm pulling on my hair. Anyway. What do you... I guess my point is, even if somebody wants to commit mass genocide, I guess, you should still hear them out because maybe there's something in there that they fucking said. I don't fucking know. No, those are terrible things, and those people are loons. Obviously, Professor Sycamore is an idiot, but he just really ooh, that's where I can tie it all back into. We broke the streamer. Typical type 2. Failing at making points. Miserable. So here's how we can bring it all back, right? So obviously Professor Sycamore was getting funding from somewhere. It certainly didn't come from a magical freaking place, and Lysander was the richest man in Kalos. So Professor Sycamore, being the corrupt, dumb bitch that he is, accepted money from a man who wanted to commit mass genocide. And that's the type of corruption that we should be fighting. So while his heart was in the right place, he took it a little far, and that kind of extremism is really fucking bad. That's how we end up with extremism on the opposite end. We need to make sure everyone stays in the middle. Savvy.exe has stopped responding. I'm just not working anymore. My fucking brain, man. Insert spider for restart. God, you guys are terrible. Oh my god. So he was a public school teacher, I guess. Oh my goodness. That was terrible. Somebody's gonna clip that and be like, look, she's making a bad Nazi joke. Oh, no, I really wasn't trying to do that, and it only sounded that way after I fucking said it. I fucking hate everything, man. He just had to be a simp. He just had to be a simp for a fucking genocidal maniac. It was all because of those cashmere socks. Be nice to her, chat. The sun fried her brains a bit. It really did today. Oh boy. Lobbying, blah blah, mega corporation, blah blah, corporation, blah, Professor Sycamore. Every stream I gotta bring up my favorite Pokemon generation because I'm cringe and it's my personality. Need more German accent in these jokes. I can't do a very good German accent. I should just have my husband come down and he can translate. Oh, Professor freed from the new... Okay, is he actually a professor? So I haven't really, I've watched some of it, but I wasn't really, watching it. And Freed is the silver-haired dude with the goggles, because naturally I love dudes with goggles. But if he's a professor, that explains why I like him and why I was so instantly like, no, that's a prime character right there. Yeah. Yeah. Jesse from Team Rocket can commit genocide as long as a hentai of her with Arbok continues to exist. That is the future that I want, where people are free to draw Jesse with Arbok without being chastised or hauled away to prison. I just broke my thing. To buy goggles. Yo, alright, so story time. Now we're gonna get into the lore dump part of the stream. Oh dear. So one of my first anime crushes when I was a wee little tot was Tai from Digimon. And Tai, as you all know, being the protagonist of an anime series in the 90s, had goggles. So I have a very soft spot in my heart for any individual wearing goggles. Don't know why. Reno was another one. There's consistency there. There's a lot of consistency in things that I like from when I was a child till now. So some people say that they were sunglasses. I think it changes in the artwork. Any form of ocular protection upon the forehead is very appealing, and I don't know why. You had a crush on Anakin the Pod? Yes, goggles. Oh man, Jesse plus Arbok coming out of her is one of my absolute favorite images. They should make statues of this. Again, I support an individual's right to their creative freedom. Whether or not it should be put into a public space, that's up for debate. I think public spaces should be respected as places where maybe just basic things should exist. I don't want to use the word offend anybody because somebody's going to get offended at flowers. Oh, I'm allergic to tulips, and seeing a statue of tulips reminds me of my situational disability. An allergy would be considered a situational disability to Microsoft. Those are words that I said. Off to horny jail with you, yes. So you're a big fan of steampunk. I am. I really enjoy steampunk. I think that a lot of steampunk artists are very, very cool and very talented. You can always that's true. You can always pixelate. Oh man. But yeah, so love dudes with goggles. So Freed is tasty. 1010 design. I also love those style jackets too, though. Yeah, I have one. I really do enjoy them. I am very, very, very particular about my fashion on men. I don't know why I completely botched my hair. I'm sorry if I now look very funny. My ponytail was just killing me. So if you had to pick one, cyberpunk or steampunk? Ooh, steampunk. I think steampunk. Cyberpunk is too... As it starts to become more real and dystopian, the less I want to go down that route. And I'd rather go towards steampunk. Yeah. Cyberpunk is cool. It does not mean that I don't like it. I love random neon lights on clothing, and I think that the worlds created are very cool, but it's just as it becomes more real and dystopian. Not quite there. I had a hard time playing 2077 for that reason. Yeah, so oh man, dude. When it released the way it did, I was very sad. But I hear that it's actually fun now, and they fixed a lot, so. No Shadowrun then? I mean, it's not that like I don't like cyberpunk. It's that I just right now, because steampunk is more fictional, more make believe, more there's less real world steampunk. Like the AI thing feels very cyberpunk and dystopian to me. So that's why I kind of like I engaged in the concepts of cyberpunk for a long time, especially with Final Fantasy VII. It's like a cross between them technically, but the way that it was written, it's very futuristic. So I kind of associated it more with that, and so I spent a long time really in that kind of a fictional setting of the future and computers doing a lot and hologram projectors and things like that. So I spent a long time indulging in that, but now that it's been 15 years, I'm now kind of gravitating more towards images kind of relating to steampunk aesthetics. Final Fantasy VII is one of my all-time favorite games. Oh my god, it's so good. So good. I couldn't help but feel like Cyberpunk 2077, like it wasn't an escape like any other, but I couldn't help feeling like it wasn't an escape like any other game. Yeah. A lot of the fiction that I try to indulge in and get really, really into is more escape feeling and less doomsday prepper. Neuralink is in fact very cyberpunk. It is. Steampunk feels more romantic than cyberpunk. It does. It does, and it's interesting because I don't think that I could articulate necessarily a logical reason for it, because you can write, obviously, romanticism and you can romanticize cyberpunk and cyberpunk visualization. But there is something a little bit different aesthetically for me that I'm going to have to dwell on to properly engage with the reasoning. But I understand the words that you're saying, and I agree. Yeah, it's got Victorian vibes, but there's something a little bit more to it. I'm gonna have to really think about it. Cyberpunk is usually dystopian, I've found. Yeah, it's usually presented with a dystopian flair, but that also makes for a more interesting story, because, you know, the ideas of corruption and AI and advertisement and getting like advertisement through your brain and all that, you know, those are very easy things to get a person to think about. So I think that it was easier to present cyberpunk as being dystopian, because if you present it as utopian, as a perfect solution for things, well, that's just not entertaining really for anybody. And I'm not saying that steampunk is utopian by any means, but, or that there's not any corruption in steampunk. You absolutely have corrupt steampunk. It's just on a different, I guess it's on a different scale. Cyberpunk feels more, no, because you can still write the story either way. Yeah, I'm just going to have to dwell on it. I don't think that I could truly articulate it in a way where people would say, oh, you could do that the other direction. You kind of get Star Trek. You go, yeah, Star Trek. So early Star Trek, and especially in The Next Generation, had a very utopian kind of vibe in terms of how humans functioned. So Jean-Luc Picard's, you know, some of the speeches that he gave were very, very both philosophical but utopian, because it came from a place where they were not trying to necessarily decide things or interfere on things or pass judgment on anything. They said, you know, they acknowledged that even some of the choices that they made, even if they seem wrong, were still right, in the sense that they were not trying to interfere in the lives of species that hadn't advanced at a certain rate. So in a sense, you know, that does have a utopian vibe as in terms of how humanity was. Whereas, you know, you get things like Cyberpunk 77, which is obviously the very opposite of that. So, but even then, it's still, I think to me, there's still a level of, and so this is another thing that I really love about Star Trek. The most recent example is having Captain Pike still enjoy, I think it was Pike, because I watched season 1 of Strange New Worlds. I think they had the episode where he cooked, right? And I think that was an original trait of his, that he enjoyed cooking. But so they had Captain Pike cook. And so the idea that a machine just makes food, that is to me dystopian, only in the sense that you're relying on a machine to do something correctly. And even if it does it correctly 100% of the time, it's also still removing a human element that I personally appreciate. Because to Pike's point, he made a few comments on it, but I can't remember the exact dialogue on why it was important to him. I think there was something in there where he basically said that you know, it just tastes different. So, welcome back. And yes, we are talking Star Trek. Also, the 2077 music was mostly not authentic garbage. Cyberpunk should be more synthwave. Cyberpunk was the 80s version of the future, and hence the neon. As a Gen X guy, I remember, yes, I do love the more synthwave vibes, and not just like the grungy kind of like what we kind of have today, where they're kind of associating like more wub with it. I definitely love the synthwave. Food emotionally solidifies memories with people. Yes. Tea, Earl Grey, hot. Literally the best. Literally. I can't believe there's 51 people like fucking listening to me just ramble now about things that are so completely off topic from how we started. I really appreciate it. This is so bloody kind of all of you. Like, Seriously, you do not have to sit here and listen to me or talk to me and any of that. So it's just mind-boggling. I really appreciate it. It's really fun to have these kinds of discussions. I didn't kind of think that this would just be a thing where I just sat here. I was so used to, back when I used to stream on Twitch, I'd always have to be doing something, which it's fine. Like I'd draw, or I would be playing the mobile game, or I'd be playing Call of Duty. There'd always be something else going on. But right now, like, I just have the same Twitter post on the page, and the poor dogs here are starving. Holy shit, I gotta fix them. Y'all, here, let's get you guys into another room. We're gonna go to the family room. Here we go. You guys can, because you're gonna be lovers. Y'all are gonna be lovers. We gotta feed them, though. Here we go. Have some spaghetti. Nice and romantic. Here, we'll put this up here by the fire. Okay. Can you guys not be boobs to each other? All right, now you're just being mean. There you go. Spread out. You're obviously just here for the pets. Probably. Now you tell me I'm not obligated to be here. Exactly. Now you know. But, oh God, what were we going on about? As a Gen X guy, I remember looking forward to a cyberpunk future. Now I'm looking forward to the Mad Max Road Warrior future. Oh goodness. I'm only here because a threat of bodily harm if I miss this. No threats were made to get people to... people will watch this. I'm grabbing... There we go. I'm not the brightest Oreo in the pack. Oh no, I've messed up my braid now. For those who also don't know, I'm completely stupid when it comes to braiding. Completely. I don't know why. Never figured it out. I'm really dumb. Really, really dumb. That looks terrible. We're dealing with it. It's also pulling. Oh, she braided her hoodie into her hair. Ha ha, point and laugh. Point and laugh at the dumb streamer. Stupid streamer, keep talking. Don't try to do other things. Anyway, that was my point. I was doing... Yeah, it's fine. What else is new? So I went out with my mother earlier, and she called me a homeless-looking teenager, and I'm like, thanks. I'll be 33 in a month, so the fact that I look like a homeless teenager, that actually made me feel really good. And then she tried to buy me a new wardrobe, and I'm like, no, I have nice clothes upstairs. And she's like, why don't you wear it? And I'm like, to be an eternal disappointment to you. Blondes are fun. Hey, yeah. Yeah, we're pretty weird. We're pretty weird. How to braid. 3 strands, alternate looping left and right over the center strand. So you have described it not correctly. You don't just alternate the tops over the middle. You still got to move them around. I think. I don't know. Man, I'm stupid. All right? I don't know how to braid hair. This is the longest it's ever been in my life. You like blondies? Honestly, there is something to appreciate about all hair colors, but I'm going to go ahead and drop some knowledge on y'all. You motherfucking brunettes. You're just gingers. Show me where brown is on the motherfucking color wheel. That's right, bitch. You're a fucking ginger. Ugh. Don't forget to slide the hoodie string in there. So that way my hoodie doesn't get lost from me. There you go. If you wear nice clothes, they will start to take damage and become not nice clothes. That is logic. Ah, man, now I'm upset I didn't say that. Only a ginger can call another ginger a ginger. Well, you're all gingers. If you got brown hair, congratulations, you're just a type of ginger. Find my hoodie. There we go. We'll create a product. So here, we're going to go ahead and say that there's a problem. That people lose their hoodies. And we're going to invent an air tag specifically for a hoodie. So that way people can find their missing hoodies. You have red highlights in your hair, sideburns, and beard, and I'm a brunette? Yeah, exactly. My husband has the same. Dang, Savvy said ginger with the hard R. Oh no! Gingers are doable, but you always want to know if the carpet matches their drapes. Are they a true ginger or are they just a liar? Oh, man. Oh, fuck. What happened with the animals? Oh, good. Oh, they're just being boobs to each other. I love pets. I love the pets game, man. And before missing hoodies, all discovered in female friend and girlfriends of their owners. Yes. Yes. Fuck. Ah. What if they dyed the carpet? I can't stop. Well, that is a thing I discovered people do. And I didn't discover it because it was dyed ginger. I discovered it because I saw a picture of a woman with a pink heart. So apparently, landscaping art is a thing. Suicide girls? That was a big thing back in the mid 2000s. I remember when that was a thing. You mean, yes, I'm sorry, body type 2, body type B. Yes. It's body type B, body type 2. I'm sorry. Why is that one gotta be the 2? Maybe I don't want to be body type 2. I want to be body type 1. But I want the body type of body type 2, but I just want body type 2 to be called body type 1. You're bad at the HR thing. I really fucking am. She must have been a mattress actress. That's a beautiful term. I've never heard that before. That is amazing. Oh no. How long has it been? Oh, it's been 2 hours and 25 minutes. And we've had a total of 420 views. Let's celebrate, chat. Let's see here. Let's change the topic completely once again. Let's see. What do I have on my desk that's super cool to share? I can't share. I got a new candle today. I cleaned my desk. I've got this cool poker chip. I'm not promoting gambling. Now I realize what I sounded like. Whatever. Anyway, so this comes from the Holland Casino. This is worth 10 euros. The symbol with the E. We had a topic. Oh no. Oh no. But yeah, so I do collect some poker chips, some little chips. This one comes from Atlantic City. I'm not going to show you all of my poker chips because they're fun to save. Do you have a bottle of some kind of condiment? I do not have a bottle of condiment upon my desk. No. I have water and an empty LaCroix can. Well, almost empty. Yeah. That's all I got. Is there indeed the euros? Yes. I don't know why my brain blanked. Well, I know why it blanked, but I can't even say the word blank. Ugh. Words. I guess, what do? Do I just... I guess I'll just promote my own Twitter while we're sitting here. Oh, look at this. How many are there? Holy shit. Why do so many people fucking follow me? Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Oh, here we go. We'll just leave that there. We'll leave that there. You know what? I really have to pee. But I'm not ready to necessarily end. We'll end stream in like 10 minutes, but I can't wait 10 minutes to go pee. So I'm going to go to the bathroom, and I might also try to fix my hair. So, let's see. What is there something cool here? We'll give you we'll do, instead of chair stream, it's a Mew stream. Don't listen to me while I go. Thank you, Mew. Yeah. Ugh. Ugh. There you go. Back over there. I can't wait for them to invent the mute button. Yes. It's a good thing she's promoting that she's streaming on her stream, because otherwise how would we know? Keep Mew on stream? Alright. Chat has spoken. Gotta bring my legs up like a gremlin. If you had, none of us would have heard you fail at walking. Oh man, I actually thought you were gonna say none of us would have heard you pee. Holy shit. That would have been funny. I blew my nose and I wondered if it would get picked up. And I'm like, they probably think I'm gonna just blast out my colon right now. Y'all should check out the person behind that account. I hear they like jelly donuts. I love candles and so did my ex. She just didn't like cleaning up the wax after I poured them on her. Oh, goodness. Oh, boy. That's what the honk was. Yeah, probably. Mew is dropping some hard R's. May want to keep an eye on that one. Bad. Bad Mew. Very bad. Oh, my gosh. Oh, y'all are silly. So silly. So very silly. I realize now, though, that I've gone to the bathroom and it's thrown off my entire vibe. So now I'm just kind of thinking, like, maybe I should just go. I'm getting really hungry. And then it's like, well, then I'm like obligated to stream for like at least 15 minutes. Because otherwise they just waited around and watched a Mew plush for no fucking reason. Professional streamer, everybody. Let's see. Do I have any other relatable funny stories that I can share that are like relating to the topics? I don't really think so. There wasn't much I was radicalized against as a child other than localization. Go eat. Ah, yes, I know. I'm actually really excited. I have some leftover ramen and then wow, and shit nobody gives a fuck about. I'm doing some pork belly again tonight. I just started cooking like the strips of pork belly. So I marinate them in a nice yuzu sauce. Very important question. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Oh dear. There are a lot of things that belong on pizza. Pineapples. Pineapple with jalapeno and garlic with red onion will change your life. I also love strawberry pizza. I put the little clementine on pizza, little clementine slices. Making ribs. Ooh, yeah. You could always end the stream in a Rickroll. That is true. I could do that. Please raid Kirsha. It's her birthday. Oh, it is her birthday. How do I raid? How do I do it? You guys have to tell me. I'm so stupid. It's not like an incredible birthday present, but it's something. I don't know how to do it. How do I? There you go. I think Mew should be our HR rep. There would have been a problem if you said no. Yes. I don't stream, so I don't know. Can you raid on YouTube? Exactly. It's a setting that both parties have to agree to. I could Google it for you. Thank you, chat. I don't know why I asked like that. She got to okay. Oh, you have to okay the account to do it. I thought it was just something that you could just like she just enabled raids as being a thing, but we have to I think we talked about this last time. I'm too stupid. Okay, I need to let me see. YouTube, how to raid someone? Oh, just give me words. I don't want a video. I don't need a video. It should just be a few words. Find another streamer who is live on your second monitor, copy the stream URL, post the chat, tell your view. Oh. Yeah, we could just do it the old school way. I feel really fucking stupid. She got at least one raid earlier. You thought this was Twitch? You can't just raid willy-nilly. The manual raid, the classic, the absolute classic. Oh wait, I shouldn't just go look things up on YouTube. Oh, you guys want to see my cringe search history on this account? Are you ready? Oh, we can't see it. Let's see what's oh. Okay, well, at least there's not anything that could get me murdered on here. You can kind of see what my search history was. Type in the letter H. I don't think I want to. I don't like this game. No, it's okay. Nothing should actually come up. It's just, I think I just looked up Pokemon stuff on here. Haha! Nothing controversial. How to tie a tie. You should be able to rate her with YouTube. I should, but I'm stupid. You guys have to remember this. But you'd have to Minecraft us, right? Oh no. Let me see here. YouTube, just that way I can have the link up for when I am ready to. Oh my god. I'm really dumb. A bunch of Sims 2 just popped up. That's fine. All right, we'll go to it. I need the link. I'm really stupid. Okay, I'm really glad that this isn't showing up. Wow. I would get banned on YouTube for some... What the fuck is happening? Me trying to use technology is quite funny, actually. There, fuck! Why do I have to be bad at spelling everyone's fucking names? Do you guys want the YouTube link or the Twitch link? Main channel, I think, would have it. Oh, it doesn't say she's live on... Oh, wait, no, here it is. Please don't play noise.
Known VTuber rank.
Okay. We're good. There we go. So I will be able to spam her link when I'm officially done. Will the Madden be on Flashcast tonight? Yes, I will. I was actually, that's what, I was just tagged in it. So I will be on there at least for a little bit tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to stay the full time, just because of how tired I am. So we'll see it. We'll see how coherent I am. Live redirect. Yes. You have a specific account for the H. Also, if I'm gonna look up anything, naughty, I'm not gonna do it on YouTube. YouTube's too stingy for me. Oh, it's called redirect on YouTube. Okay, it's not called rating, of course, because that would be bad. I did braid my hair, my hoodie string into my hair. Yes. Google how to redirect. Oh, well, it's. We'll do it the boomer way, because that's cute. That's cute, you know. I'm pretty much a fucking loser. First hit is Google help. Hey. Oh man. Yeah, you can't really see the Mew anymore, but that's fine. Yeah, you know, I'm just rambling at this point, and I really just make myself look like an idiot. So I guess we'll just mosey. We'll mosey. The Pets 5 are doing great. Hopefully in the next day or two, we'll start getting some adults. Very excited about that. I'll show you guys this. So this was Kiki and Armin who hung out with us the entire time. One of us, exactly. So we've also got, Kiki and Armin, I want to breed them. And then we have Mila, the plushy wolf. We have Philip, the Dalmatian, who I think these two would make some very cute babies. Mila has heterochromia. And of course, for anybody who's looked at any of my art, you know that my most cherished main character or original characters have some form of heterochromia because I'm an unoriginal fuckwaffle who really likes heterochromia mutations. And I tend to assign meaning to the eye colors. And I just think it's really fun and fantastic. And I don't care if it's considered cringy. But yeah. So anyway, we have Mila and Philip. Philip, stop cleaning your bungus. And then we have, nobody cares about this. Ooh! So we have Pona, the panther. We also have Sesame, the Shiba Inu. Snow, the Asian snow curl. And So, the papillon. I'm obviously bad at naming things on the fly. So yes, I am one of the coolest kids. So yeah, these are all these. Is heterochromia? Oh man, I swear to God, heterochromia is like the coolest fucking thing in the world. But yeah, anyway. Oh, so I don't know why I'm trying to pull that off screen like a professional. We'll put Philip and Mila back here. Are you talking about the Digimon on the screen or real life besties in your house? I'm talking about the little creatures here. These guys down below. I'm an adult. Oh, I'm sorry. I just dropped you. I just sent you flat. That was my other thing. They let you do that. You can absolutely do crazy things. But so we're gonna do some cringe. So last time I cringed on stream with my mobile Pokemon game, we actually had success and pulled Larry, who is voiced, the American voice actor is Young. So make sure you always go tell him, hey, you're Savvy's favorite voice for the American voice actors because you voice Larry. Make sure you make it like as cringe as possible. Abusing virtual animals, not cool. Here we go. I'm going to get canceled. Anyway, so we're going to move on before I get canceled. And we're gonna go ahead and attempt to do some more Pokemon Masters Sex pulls. So I managed to work my way up to another 3,000 crystals. We're gonna have this on. Oh man. Let's see here. I gotta put my webcam up front and then we'll go ahead and blow ourselves up here. Okay, so you can kind of see what's happening. We're not pulling for Cyrus as much as I love his music. I'm not going to do that one. So we could technically do the summer one, but I'm trying to. Now, keep in mind, we just had a very important lore dump. And if you'll notice, our boy Ethan here has some goggles. So I am obligated to pull for Ethan. Now, I have failed. This will be my 5th attempt at pulling for him. Lugia is also in my top 5 favorite Pokemon. You already canceled Savvy for telling the truth. Damn it! I hate being a type 2 in this type 1 world. God damn it. Anyway, so we're gonna have a super cringe summoning fest here. I get to try one more time for my goggle wearing Ethan and favorite top 5 Pokemon, Lugia. Love that movie. Love the Pokemon movie 2000. Still actively listen to Lugia's song regularly. Very, very cringe, I'm sure, to some people, but I don't care. I really don't. Come on, chat. Raise your dongers for me. Oh boy, we got a spark. It's fire. Fuck off, Hilda. Go have your barbecue pig somewhere else. It is extremely cringe. It's fine. We've got children now on the screen. This is terrible, horrible. I hate it. Fuck off, Bruno. But Machamp has some excellent cultural artwork. Oh my god, I swear to god, it's not gonna happen. You guys aren't raising your dongers hard enough. More cringe than the Acolyte? Ooh, that's hard. That's a hard one. Come on, chat. Be my good luck. I'm so upset right now. Motherfucker! Chat has failed me. I'm ending stream now. I have tried 5 times for this pussy fuck. Holy shit. Why can't I get Lugia? I'm actually upset right now. That's some nice trash you're getting. Thanks. Fuck Hilda. Worst waifu. Worst fucking... God damn it. I'm so upset right now. We're just gonna end on a rage quit. I'm gonna go cry because that's 15,000 fucking... Wait. Yeah, that's 15,000 gems. Jesus Christ. My brain is so fried. Can't get a fucking Lugia in 15,000 gems. Fuck me. Fuck. Nice autistic rage. Time to go pull on Nikkei. Yes, you have to be a type 3 to get. Damn it. Try yelling at the pixels a bit more. I'm sure that'll work. I hope you all have a good day. I'm gonna go cry now. Here you go, have some more show and tell. Oh, fuck. God damn it.
Just had a long day at work sitting at my...
I was just a kid, only 9 years old. Innocent eyes, watching stories unfold. Pokemon battles, adventure and pride, till the truth was twisted and my innocence died. Lost in translation, they twisted the truth. A rice ball to tally, they shattered my youth. No more deception, I'll fight till the end. Against localizers, I'll never bend. Cultural erasure, they thought we ignored, but we saw through their lies, couldn't take it no more. Authentic voices silenced and betrayed. The changes can wash the essence away. Lost in translation, they twisted the truth. A rice bowl to jelly, they shattered my youth. No more deception, I'll fight till the end. Against localizers, I'll never bend. Thrones, thinking they reign, but they despise the anime domain. They think they have power, they think they know best, but the Disney for the odd reveals they're just pests. Rise up, the words aren't the same. Stand tall, stand firm, it's us they blame. They take away the blood, the meaning, the culture. Fuck the patriarchy, cries the lonely vulture. Lost in translation, they twisted the truth. A rice ball to jelly, they shattered my youth. No more deception, I'll fight till the end. Against localizers, I'll never bend. The battle is raging, but our hope beckons. AI is coming, translating in seconds. From 9 years old, the fire ignites.